A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop off the cork, have a glass of wine, as they'll say, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
Hello, everyone, and happy December to you. Hence the snazzy Christmas jumper that I've got.
Look
on
at him,
right now.
so cuddly.
I know. I'll have a new one for each week that we do this until it becomes unfashionable again. So we'll keep it going for a couple of weeks at least. Welcome everyone to Open Bar 121. We're almost caught up with the present day, so that's actually I think it's going to work out all right. It's going to take us right up to the end of the year, and then we're done.
I think, we did mention that. We'll have to come up with a new gimmick.
Yeah, we'll find something else.
We'll find something.
We'll just do random Chuck Norris facts every week or something.
Well, all right.
Well, anyway, welcome everyone. And as is customary, I suppose for the last couple of weeks that we can still do this, let's give a few facts about our year, in this case, 2021. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't a great year for movies. This was still like in the pandemic period, so like box office totals were pretty low. And interestingly, in terms of worldwide box office, two of the movies in the top were Chinese, I think. The top one, obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home. That was 1.9 billion, so that was like far and away the biggest movie of the year, obviously. I like your avatar. It looks beautiful.
It's all gold now.
But then it's spots 2 and 3 were the Battle of Lake Changjin and Hi Mom. Both of them 902 million and 822 million respectively, so still not bad. But then that takes you down to No Time to Die, the last depressing entry in Daniel Craig's Bond tenure.
Well, trying to remember that.
That was 3 years ago. I mean, almost 4 now, but like, it still feels pretty recent, and we've not had any more Bond movies since then, and no announcements about who the new Bond's even going to be.
I think we even said back then, it's like they're going to fight over this forever, probably, because the announcement of the next Bond, whoever it may be, is probably going to cause quite a stir with how everything is.
And then in 5th place was Fast 9, the Fast Saga. I love how they have a different tagline for every movie. But yeah, it wasn't a great year for other stuff. Like, it was so even then, right, with the pandemic and stuff on, it was in full-blown like comic book central at the time. Like, Marvel pumped out Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Black Widow and Spider-Man all in the same year. Wow, that is a lot. Yeah. But hey, we also got Venom too, so you know.
I mean, everyone talks about it, you know.
The most memorable movie of all time. But it was also the year that gave us The Matrix Regurgitations.
Oh, what a film that was.
That killed the Matrix franchise. Welcome to Raccoon City pretty much killed the Resident Evil franchise. So that was nice. West Side Story gave us the rise of Rachel Zegler, which killed all of cinema. So there's that. But we also got Malignant, which is, I know, a personal favorite of yours.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun watching Malignant. It was a retarded movie.
It was retardedly entertaining.
Yes.
But we also got Free Guy, which I liked a lot. That was a fun movie. And Nobody.
Yeah, I like Nobody.
And weirdly, Last Night in Soho, which I'm still completely conflicted on whether it was like really smart and inventive and quite cool or utterly shit. I honestly can't make up my mind about it.
Was not a fan, and I miss the Edgar Wright of old, begging him to just make another one, man. I know you can do it.
Do it, man. Do it. Anyway, that was 2021, but let's bring it up to date and let's assemble our bar, shall we? Are you ready?
I think so, yeah.
Is chat ready? I'm not going to wait
you're
for
right.
I'm not going to wait for a response because it'll take like 20 seconds before it starts filtering through. It would be funny if they all said no. Don't
If
bring
someone
anyone
says
on.
no, you can't be bringing people in. As long as one person says no, then there's not
It's got to be
really.
unanimous. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, let's bring them in anyway because we're going to do it. So, welcome aboard to Star Wars Theory, Reaper, Robot Head, and the Angry Badger.
But someone said no in chat.
They're all saying no.
No.
All right, I'm going to have to put you guys out. No, it's good to have you here, and thanks for coming.
Thanks for having
this.
Yeah.
No, it's good
Can
to have
I
you
ask
back
a
there.
question?
Yes.
Did you say the second film of that year was something called the Battle of Lake Chang or something?
The Battle of Lake Changjin that made $902 million.
What the hell is that? I've never even heard of it.
It's a Chinese movie.
How have you not heard of the Battle of what was that?
Yeah, the Battle of
Chang-Chen.
whatever.
Yeah,
I know
Yeah,
Australia's
I'm just-
a bit behind and we're still in 2018, but I'd never heard of that one.
Yeah, I'd vaguely heard of it. And I think it was just an example of like how, Hollywood was largely shut down throughout most of the year. And so movies that are big in other parts of the world that we perhaps wouldn't have heard about otherwise, like rose right to the top of the worldwide
Sounds like a
rankings just
Thai
because of
massage
that.
parlor.
Yeah. Wait a minute, I'm going to see if I could find.
The
So,
battle of working out what you're sleeping with.
oh, there's a second one as well, apparently. How do you get a sequel to that? Yeah, so it's the most expensive film ever produced in China with a budget of $200 million, which is pretty impressive, actually, for them.
Almost the
Um,
Acolyte.
Yeah. Which would you rather see? Yeah, it's right. The film's depiction of the battle, which is a World War II battle, has been described as containing historical inaccuracies and has garnered controversy in some countries, including South Korea. Boo. The film has also been described as propaganda. Imagine that in communist China. Who would have thought? Anyway, so that was that. But, gentlemen, welcome aboard for this tonight. And I guess the big thing that's come out this week is Skeleton Crew for Star Wars.
Yes.
And I guess I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it. I'm going to shut up and just let you guys give us your opinions. And I'm not even going to say which order you have to go in. So just have at it.
but you better be kind and courteous and let the person go first that you think should. So if it ends up being silent,
me
that's
then.
fine too.
I thought it was kind of boring, really.
Okay.
All right, good
Well,
I did get
well,
bored.
I knew there was gonna be some positivity, so I just wanted to ruin it first. So
That's the way. It's the British way.
I'm saying it's mostly boring. The characters are kind of flat. It's pretty predictable. I didn't like anyone. I mean, the pacing was incredibly slow. Like the entire first episodes, most of it's filler. So it's fine, but it's just I thought it was pretty boring.
It feels like another one of those shows that was one meeting would have just written the whole show. Like it's just a boardroom together. We need pirates, we need a Jedi, we need this, that. There's the show. Let's go. Didn't seem there was a lot of thought put into it.
Wasn't it supposed to be a movie? And they turned it into a TV show? I heard. Either way, I was prepared to hate it. I rather enjoyed it. I liked all the kids. Whim was me growing up. I, too, played with lightsabers and wanted to be a Jedi. And when it ended, I wanted the third episode. And I haven't said that about many of their series. I think it's just an inoffensive movie. Like, it snuck in. John Watson, this Christopher Ford. And I don't know. I want to see the Treasure Planet and the Old Republic stuff. I'm interested.
What about the smug girl? Did you like her?
Fern, who I just took as a classical tomboy, yes, I did actually like her, and I think
With her
she's
legs.
pretending,
I've got a
projecting.
few things to say about that character, and I'll let you guys
Yeah.
go first.
I might as well
I did
call
like
it Arthur Fonzarelli.
Or Charlie Sheen from
Yes.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Tom in that tomboy.
Yeah, for me, I think you hit it on the head, Robot Head. I think it's very simple, not much thought put into it, and I think that's what makes it kind of just laid back and fun, kind of like, you don't have to think about it too much. Just a bunch of kids going on some adventure. It hits on those nostalgic beats and kind of reminds you of when you did have the magic of Star Wars in your heart, and you want to find the spaceship in the forest and blast off into some unknown adventure. And it's pretty lighthearted, nothing to think about. I think it's pretty fun so far.
It's always so
problems
loaded
that-
too, because if we had great sequels and we were seeing great films, once every 2 years at the cinema or something, this would be just such a fun little kids show that we probably wouldn't even be talking about. But
Yeah.
everything's so loaded now because like we've just come off the Acolyte, so fucking just putting a poster on screen would be better than sitting through the Acolyte again. So it's such a loaded conversation where a simple little show like this should be allowed to just exist without even really discussing it. Pardon my morning voice.
That's the thing.
Leave
No,
me then.
totally agree. That's the thing. But it's like because they've shit on us so many times with these shows, everyone is just almost like fuck off with literally everything they make. It could be even like half decent or like a kids show. It's like whatever, who cares? But it you're like, no, you guys took too much of the piss, as you Brits say.
Give some of the piss back.
You took too much of the piss.
You guys are taking the piss, man.
That's a variation I've never heard.
Give me a little bit of that
They
urine.
took too much of it, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I can, as you guys have said, and as people are pointing out in chat, like it is a kids show and it's kind of designed for a younger audience. So I'm not gonna like go into like too much analysis of it because it's a bit unfair. I will say though, like I agree with Reaper's assessment that it's quite slow paced in that first episode. Like for example, the point where Wim discovers the crashed spaceship, right? He discovers the hatch in the forest. You could probably just have him like dig it up right there and then and get inside. Like the other kids could have followed him there or whatever, and that would have got you to where you need to be plot wise, like nice and quick, simple and efficient. Instead, there's this really drawn out sequence where he gets caught, then he goes to school and gets put in detention, and then he like his dad comes in and gives him a bollocking, and then he comes back later in the day, and that's when he runs into the Fern girl and like whatever the other girl's called, and it's all just really time wasting stuff. Like
Wasn't that to set up like where they all come from and what the world's like, and that we realize is more.
We kind of got that already up until that point. We got a bit of world building, and it was enough to tell us, like, yeah, this is a peaceful but pretty boring planet, like where nothing much happens, and that's fine. Like, I get it, and they just want to, like, he wants to go off and have an adventure. That's enough. And I think, particularly if it is for a young audience, they're going to want things to get moving a bit quicker than that. They're not going to want 45 minutes before anything happens.
Yeah. Well, how else would you set up the dad getting known about this so that he would come to the forest and the girl come in there? If you just
you could easily enough have him like the kids. I don't know. The kid sneaks off for another reason to like go meet with his friend or something, and his dad sees him leave and he follows him, and that's when he finds the hatch, and like this, the ship takes off. The dad catches up just as it leaves. Then easy enough. You've accomplished the same thing, but you've taken like half as long.
But this is where I wonder the age group they're actually aiming for, because it does have the pacing of the 80s. Like, have you ever shown a young kid E.T. or something and they get so bloody bored because they've just watched Despicable Me, where, in the first 5 seconds, they're all dancing and singing, telling jokes, and then you put on E.T. and they're like, what the hell's going on here for the first 20 minutes? That sort of got that pacing. So I wonder, like, I was a bit confused watching what age group they're going for, because it seems a lot younger than I expected.
Every time we say it's for kids, I think of MauLer and other arguments I've heard him that just because it's for kids doesn't mean it can't be quality.
But also, like, Star Wars was for kids, so it's like, how young are they sort of aiming this? Because it seemed to be aimed a lot younger than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, because I think from a plot consistency point of view, there's not even much to analyze at this point, because really not that much has happened. It's really just they found the thing, they've gone off on a wacky adventure, and like not much has progressed beyond that yet. But I think when it comes to like aiming any Star Wars product now at a target audience, like your target audience is probably still going to be like older people who have been around since the original trilogy.
Well, I suppose the angle might be that it's hoping to grab parents who love Star Wars of old, and they can show their kids this. I assume that's
that's a shrinking demographic.
I think so, because I mean, I'm not a kid, but I don't get the impression that like it's popular or cool amongst kids anymore, like to have any kind of Star Wars toys or games or anything. I just don't feel like the younger generation's that invested in it.
Yeah.
I feel like
And so
John
many
Watts and
parents
Christopher
have
Ford
left.
made it for themselves, basically. That they, like I said, they got a little window and no one cared about it and they dismissed it and they just made this fun little thing that reminded them of all the movies they liked.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it hits those 80s beats for sure. Like it's not for the TikTok generation where everything happens like super quick. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm as anal about breaking down the show because it's just like I don't know, it's like same feel as Solo. It's like, all right, whatever. It's like just another thing.
Did everyone
didn't want to-
immediately
thought
think
Solo
that
was
the
shit.
captain of the pirate ship was Jude Law
Yeah.
the second you saw him?
Well, because like his accent just came through
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
I think the
And
mystery
so-
there is he a Force user? Is he faking that? And if he's a Force user, was he a Jedi or was he an Inquisitor or, you know?
We're talking about
some-
the prologue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I guessed further than that because I was watching it with Fringy. We were both like, so he's going to get put in jail because this whole thing's going to go wrong. There's probably nothing in the vault or something like that because of the trailer. It kind of gives you away a lot of this. And then, yeah, he's going to, I assume, pretend to be a Jedi until that gets revealed and he's just a scummy pirate, but it turns out he has a heart of gold. A lot of this...
How long is that? And how
Well,
big of a
I was-
reveal?
That's what I was going to say. Is I forget who said it here, but just like you can kind of see everything that's going to happen already with each of these characters. They're very, very simple archetypes. Like, you know, the kind of chubby elephant kid who's he's scared all the time, and he's probably gonna come through and he's gonna do something courageous by the time we hit episode 6 or something, and he'll say, you know what, that adventure was worthwhile even though I was scared. Like that's his journey already. We know it.
Or he
It's just a
dies.
matter of
I hope they all have that. I hope Wim steps up. I hope Fern rather has finally challenged and that the shtick she pulls drops. I don't know.
I was going to say, because I feel like the show's a little bit confused about who the main character is meant to be. Like, I feel like the script wants it to be Wim, but like the sort of directives from above say that it has to be Fern. And so there's this weird conflict where I feel like she's kind of not a supporting character, but like she's like the secondary lead. But like she kind of steps up at every occasion and takes charge of everything. Whereas like most of the narrative focus seems to be on him. And so I'm like, well, who's actually meant to be leading this story here?
I think it's him. I think it's him, and I think they'll probably end up having a crush on each other at the end of this or something like that. I don't know.
There's supposed to be a conflict of it's like his passion and desire, but she's a like I want control type and reckless and impulsive. So they're going to compete somewhat.
Typical tomboy of that age.
Compared to ideology, I was happy to have boy versus girl. Like acknowledgement, first of all, that there are only boys and girls, and then Neil is heteronormative. He had a crush on a girl, even if she was green and alien. But like, it's just a normal kid. The friend.
You assuming that Green's gender? You don't know what that Green has got.
I could tell.
How dare you?
And the thing is, Neil, when he's got a crush, like an interspecies relationship like that, I mean, is that not classed as like bestiality or something? Like, I don't even know how.
Bro, even when they get to the space station, they go, "Ooh, aliens!" Because they're only used to seeing.
Don't ask these questions. Let the story.
It's just that it's horrible and disturbing when I think about it. And who's going to get with this weird blue elephant faced thing? Who still has a
you should see some of the
expanded
expanded universe.
When Jabba is interacting with his concubines, they're like, "Is this bestiality?" Like, no.
I had a stroke. We just got our stream demonetized.
When Mando was getting off one of the ships, there was a human with like a pig woman, and that was very disturbing.
Morian.
I like this.
I was just gonna say, man, but he was a kid, so I thought against it. And I was like, no.
I just but when we were talking about like Fern there, God, like you sort of described her as a typical tomboy. I would just describe her as a typical female character written by Lucasfilm.
That too,
at this point. The moment I saw her and she's like riding one of those speeder bikes and she's a mechanic and like she's got this like devil may care, like I'm confident as fuck. Like she even like man spreads when she sits down, like she's totally like this, occupying as much space as possible. I just thought, yeah, it's another one of those.
Well, it just felt like a guy's character that's given to a girl, not a tomboy. You know,
pretty much.
He's an
And it just-
example of Max out of Stranger Things.
No, I
she's
think it's a
great
tomboy. If this was any other project, we wouldn't have the same assumptions to it. I get it, Disney, it probably is all of that, but I think we're really losing the nuance between a girl boss and a girl who's bossy. And spoiler, girls will always be bossy, especially at that age. Just seemed like a bossy tomboy to me, but
What?
I could be turned out wrong.
I didn't understand any of that.
You know the difference between a girl boss and a girl who's bossy?
No, they're all horrible.
Correct.
Problem.
Well, I mean, like to give an example, right? The show tries to play on the whole like, oh, girls are dumb, boys are dumb. Like each sort of side has this kind of rivalry thing going on. But in every scenario, it always plays out that the girls are kind of proven right, or like they sort of get the upper hand. Like they dupe the boys into doing all the donkey work, like of digging up the hatch and stuff. You know, and the boys are like, oh, we're so much stronger than them. And like the girls are just sitting there like eating a snack, like watching them work their arses off. Like, yeah, look at those idiots over there. And it's just kind of that theme just kind of plays out throughout the whole first couple of episodes. And it's like, I knew it would, because like that's what Lucasfilm has to do, I suppose, with their characters. But man, it's just it sucks the fun out of it a little bit when you see
I
stuff like
Boys
that.
all get chased by the aliens, don't they? And the girl has to come to the rescue.
Well, even like when she tells him not to press any buttons in the cockpit, so the first thing he does is press a button, and like it's ultimately like,
How does that one button do all that?
That button was
Well,
amazing.
technology
Yeah.
in Star Wars
Two
is
buttons.
like the most user-friendly technology that you'll ever see.
Well,
Like you
it
can
has to
walk
be.
up to a control panel and just punch it, and it'll do what you want.
Yeah, imagine
Somehow,
you
just
got
magically.
imagine you got people on your ass trying to shoot you, and you should be like, oh, let's get the fuck out of here, boom! They take off. It's got to be that easy, man.
I'm
It
just
literally-
waiting for someone to headbutt like a computer, and it'll just like access the data file that they
Well,
need.
what did your favorite character do, Badger? And then he like pull apart a bunch of things, and like miraculously the ship stopped or went faster. I can't remember.
Badger?
Which
Yeah,
part?
an Acolyte.
Oh, you're
Him
talking
right
about-
next to
Oh,
you.
the pronoun
the gopher.
Basil. Oh my god, I hated that.
Basil.
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 Yeah.
What did I call him? Badger.
Badger.
You called that?
Whatever.
I was like, it wasn't my favorite.
This
Forgive
guy
me.
down here is
I
Badger.
got besmirched by that Basil though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before he pushed the button, didn't she literally start the ship up by hitting it several times?
She brought
Yes.
it out of,
Oh, yeah.
out of rest mode or something just by hitting
Yeah.
it. Which
It's hard to
works.
sort of. It's always a fine line, Star Wars, like how sci-fi you want to keep the line. At the start, when the ship pulled up and just started shooting tubes into the side of the other ship, I thought, I don't think that's going to work. I think
I'm
that-
fine with hitting stuff to try and get it to work after or before you've done some other work. Like the implication with Han and the Millennium Falcon, whenever
He
we see him
hits it,
punch or whatever, it's like you assume he's pressed some button or moved some wire and that he's just trying to jank it into place. But when you only do that, it's just like, okay, fine.
and Han knew his ship, like it's probably happened a
Yeah,
thousand times.
I kind of don't get as well how like this ship that's supposedly derelict, like they press one button and it magically comes to life, and then it takes off and then goes to hyperspace and stuff, and then eventually they stop and the droid comes to life and starts talking to them, and they're like, right, we need to get home, and his response is like, well, we need to get like the most important systems like fixed and working again. And I was like, well, it already flies and it goes to hyperspace. Like, what else do you need?
The maps.
Seems like it works pretty well.
Well, to be fair, they can't go home, right?
They don't
That's
know.
the big.
Yeah, it's basically like what is their planet like hidden or something? It's like a
So
mythical
here-
treasure planet
here's-
for
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking is that planet is probably like some massive treasure trove that, I don't know, the leader of the planet or whatever for however many years has kind of hidden the name of it so that no one finds out. And so no pirates and the Empire don't
I
come
thought it was
and
going
raid
to
it.
be a Republic experiment or something. because
That
of
I
the-
think it's a vault for security or for government, or much like in Knights of the Republic when you find about the Telosian, like the Promised Land, it turns out just to be a government vault that has the machine caretakers. There's a whole planet that's shielded behind the barrier that during the Sith Wars or something has people hidden. That's why all they care about is assessments, and the droids run everything, and the treasure is just that it's a protected Old Republic planet with the Old Republic credits. But that's what I assumed.
That's cool. Yeah.
So they're
It makes
pushing
me think
communism
and
onto the
wonder and
kids.
guess.
Yeah,
We haven't
yeah.
done that in a while.
Yeah.
The basic idea of the show, I think, is fine. Like, a bunch of kids like discover this ship, and it takes them off on a magical adventure across the galaxy where they've got to look for treasure, and they got space pirates and stuff. Like, it's all fine. It is just the Goonies in space. And the thing I'll say in favor of the show is that when they go to say the spaceport so that they can get repairs made to their ship and stuff, like, it looks visually very interesting. Like, you've got a real ensemble of like alien species. It feels like that real melting pot that you would expect from Star Wars. Like, and I contrast that with something like the Acolyte or Ahsoka, where it's just so fucking bland and boring and unimaginative. Like, this felt like it had a bit of fun and creativity put into it.
Yeah.
I'll say that I don't know, Filoni and Favreau run projects all seem unified somewhat in their visual. Certainly these days slop, like they degraded over time visually. This one and Andor both feel like they're done by different people, which they are.
It seems like they were busy doing their thing, whatever's going on with Daisy and Grogu and all that stuff, and this was just left to its own devices. And I love when the kids got there, and like they're only used to seeing Orderlands or Thorians and humans, and so when they saw them, they're like, "Ooh, aliens!" I just things like that.
You know what's cool?
Wizard.
While I was doing my the watch party for it, there was actually someone that worked on the show for VFX and worked with John Knoll and all that, and he was saying that they used a lot of the volume for this. I didn't even think so.
It's always been an incorporation thing.
But isn't that strange how this doesn't feel claustrophobic, but then the Kenobi show felt like it was literally just compact?
It felt very packed.
Comes down to direction, then, I think.
Yeah.
Just like getting a bit of dynamic camera work and stuff, like getting that sense of scale. It can be done as long as you shoot it correctly.
As long as you know what you're
doing. With green screen, even technically rear screen projection, like, it's down to how the directors know how to use it, know how to look, know how to prep it.
So I get that the frustration is do this, but then add good story and characters. Like this production, this is sort of the Andor thing of people that didn't like that. It was like, yeah, that's great. I'm happy you have Andor. Can you do that level of quality, but characters we like? And I get it.
I think Badger's onto something as well with like the idea that certain projects can kind of fly under the radar at Lucasfilm, where it's like low priority, low stakes.
This is what happened with X-Men 97.
Yeah, like we're not gonna mess with the big overall picture of Star Wars or anything. This is just like its own little self-contained thing.
Very isolated.
They probably don't get too much oversight on that sort of thing then, and it allows them to just have a bit more creative freedom and do something that is a little bit more fun. And maybe some of this setup is going to get a decent payoff later. Maybe like Fern will turn out to be more complicated than she seems as just like a generic girl boss. I mean, thanks, Reaper. I'm trying to build this show up a little bit. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. Jesus.
Just one good thing. That's all.
Yeah, can't we have anything nice?
Well, they kind of have a good crew. It's like one guy is the girl, KB, or whatever her name is. She's like the tech person. So if they have any tech issues, it makes sense that she can figure it out. Like, the ship is in hibernation.
And she hides behind the cybernetic, a little bit of freedom.
Data visor.
Goes back.
Yeah. You got the tomboy.
She had a moment to show off her tech abilities when they were starting up the ship, and all she did was hands what's her face the wrench, and she hit it. I went, that was your moment to actually use your skills.
She did.
She goes, what should I do? Hit it.
But with stuff like that, like there is probably just because of the bad experiences we've had with Star Wars over the past 10 years, it's like straight away in my mind, I was just thinking, right, okay, like there's the fucking generic girl who has to be good at technology because girls in STEM. Like that's probably the thinking behind it, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a pure coincidence.
Did anyone else notice the first text? It was basically, as the Empire fell, the New Republic continues to be useless. And I keep thinking, every time they release a show, they make living under the Empire way better.
Yeah, they do.
You didn't have piracy. You had a functional government. You
I guess.
Murdered.
Yeah,
it was, except for it's just some of the evil stuff they did wasn't cool. But I guess
they blew up planets occasionally. But
you're in
fascist, a little fascist, but that's all right.
Security. It kept shit in line. All right.
It's funny because like the first season of The Mandalorian set up that question and then couldn't answer it because they didn't like the answer they were going to get. Like, weren't things better under the Empire? Yeah, they kind of were actually for the average citizen.
Well, I think
Well,
it's
I'll
also fun to
defend.
know. Go ahead.
I'll defend the blowing up of the planet. That was full of rebels. So
That's true. Well, no, it was named wrong. Like someone just said Alderaan, and then they blew it up.
yeah,
Well,
but
like,
she's from there,
it's just-
and she's a rebel leader
That's fair enough. Yeah. So
and a
like,
kingdom.
in a way,
I'm
were,
sure they
like,
would have claimed
rebel
that fully.
adjacent.
It was filled with a huge force that was gonna do damage, and they had to
I mean,
destroy
yeah,
it.
there
I'm
was
sure they would
one or two innocents,
maybe just a dog
One
or
or two.
something like that.
casualty of war.
I'm sure.
Someone put in chat like Alderaan had it coming. I think they did as well. There was probably just a lot of assholes on that planet.
Either way, I like the
Stuff
fact that it seems like the kids don't know which republic they're from. Like we're meant to think that they're on a new republic planet, but we find out that they're on a planet possibly established even before the Rusan Reformation, like the old republic. That's why he has all those Sith stories and Jedi versus Sith, like that you wouldn't think was very common in a new republic kid. Because
What do you know about the Sith? Because the Sith have been gone for 1,000 years.
No, 1,000 generations.
But
Reaper.
if this is an old republic
Even
planet,
worse.
One or the
Yeah.
other.
That's
Sith and
even
Jedi
worse.
existed for thousands of years, so the knowledge would still be there that they existed and the battles.
Well,
and all that stuff.
and to be fair, there's more for us to
Public
find
knowledge?
out about the nature of this
Yeah.
planet. We don't know what the idea with it. If it is like an experimental thing, and then they plugged it full of Jedi lore for the kids to play with on the planet, for all we know, I don't know. There's a lot of questions I have about the functionality
Selling
of this planet.
toys.
I don't know.
They must
That's what I'm
have
saying.
Sith cartoons.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to tell us is the case for that planet.
It gets a bit
Yeah,
on the
you must-
nose when the nostalgia turns into kids actually playing with Star Wars toys in a Star Wars show.
Yeah.
Like, can we just
I
pull
was-
back a bit from that?
I was gonna
I
ask
loved
you
it.
guys, like, what did you think of like that aesthetic of like just American suburbia? Like everyone just lives in regular houses and they essentially just drive cars to go to work.
Yeah.
What
I
did you
think this
think of
show-
that?
I think this show would have been better if it wasn't under Star Wars. Like it was like a Stranger Things, just its own thing, and it started on Earth. And they found a spaceship and went on an adventure. It just,
Sure.
I don't think it
Well,
needs
That's kind
to
of what
be
it feels
part
like it was.
I thought it was
Yeah.
weirder than I do now because I thought it was just a random planet, but now we know it's an experimental, crazy, protected thing. So at least that gives us a reason for why it's like so strange and
And
unusual.
cookie cutter and the on
Yeah.
rails speed instead of just actual. Well, simply she
Like I
did that
said,
herself.
If we get more on this, I don't know what their plans are with this show, but like I reserve a lot of criticism about a lot of the things on that planet. I have plenty to give, but I'm like, it could get better if they give me more context, I suppose.
We'll probably never
Um,
go back there.
I am
Would
honestly
that not
just
be the whole
happy-
point?
To
I mean,
never
it'll
go
be
back there.
it'll be an overarching object, or like something will happen where they have to stay away from it because they're like wanted
Well, they're gonna-
fugitives or something, and like they can't go back there because it would like lead the
They'll
bad
be on the
guys back to
run
their
from
planet.
like pirates. They'll find some arbitrary thing they got to find, and then by the time we get to the end of the season, they'll have discovered that they come from a planet that's like they mentioned, right, a myth or a fairy tale, and that they'll find out something about it, some big revelation, I'm sure.
Well,
Meanwhile, we
I
got
think the
characters
dad one-
on the planet that are going to continue their own plot lines, I assume, right?
Yeah.
The dad, the mum.
The dad seems to be doing something.
Chris
yeah.
told us about the lesbian moms we're going to see, which honestly I don't care unless it's super in your face and like you know what I'm saying. If it's just a
They're
fact,
hot.
Yeah, if they're hot,
that's
it's
also an
fine.
important question. Yes,
Yeah,
That's all that
fine.
matters.
I don't think you're probably not going to get a lesbian sex scene in a kids show. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but at least
I mean,
I
it's
can
Disney, so I
imagine-
wouldn't put anything past them really. But
But I can think, I can dream.
yeah.
Sydney Sweeney's
Well,
one of them.
I was literally gonna say,
dream.
bro. I was just gonna be like, imagine it's Sydney Sweeney and Anna de Armas or something like that as the moms.
I'm curious,
Ratings
would
just go through the
anyone
roof.
recommend it so far?
No.
if you're 5 or
Yeah, to
retarded,
kids.
I think you'd probably enjoy it.
You fucking dickhead, man.
Watching it, like
Yeah,
I'm pretty much at a no until maybe the future. If we see more.
MauLer, I need more. And I appreciate you saying that because it seems like a lot of people's criticisms are just pattern recognition feelings that will probably bear out to be true because Disney, but it hasn't happened yet. We should wait to see.
Yeah.
It's only been 2 episodes.
I think my initial prediction for this when I saw the trailers and stuff and I heard the announcement was it will be fairly bland, fairly forgettable, and fairly inoffensive. Like I don't think it's going to be terrible. I don't think it's going to be like great. It's not going to inspire anyone, and it'll come and go, and it won't really make much impact. And like having seen 2 episodes of it now, I haven't changed that opinion.
Does anyone think it would have done better if they'd released it all at once? Because for kids coming back each week,
Hmm.
it might have done better if they released the whole series.
Yeah,
possibly.
Unless it's a disaster.
I don't know. That's an interesting thought that, like, for younger demographics, maybe releasing TV shows all at once, it does make sense. Because then parents can just throw it on for as long as they need it on.
Mm.
Or you know.
Yeah. This wasn't going to be a week, like a
Well,
water cooler show, like we were going to be talking about it week to week, probably.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it might be that they thought it was going to be a bigger deal than it is. Like, maybe because it's got Jude Law in it, it's got a little bit of star power. Possibly.
no one cares about that in Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And also, I think Theory and I are aware this is Disney Star Wars. Like, a lot of people saying that we shouldn't like this and that this is a betrayal. And Kat's like, look, what if this didn't exist? It would be a different.
What?
Like, there's no Luke Skywalker show coming back. Is there? Like, do you think that because a lot of people are like, we shouldn't like this because if this existed, if this didn't exist,
off.
we'd get
I'll
better
like what
shows.
I want.
Right. That's my
Shit.
point. So I like this, and this isn't stopping any. It's not like magically we'd be getting Luke Skywalker and super faithful lore stuff if this didn't exist. We got to take it where we can get it, and this is not horrible or inoffensive. I don't know.
Well, I mean, our job is just report back what it is.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
look,
So-
I think the two sides of the fandom where they're like extremes, like the Acolyte shills that are like, you have to like this or else you're racist.
Yeah.
And then the other side that says whatever, apparently what you just said. If
Yeah.
you like it, then
Any
you-
liking of this or watching of it is an endorsement of Kathy and Dave. And
it's the same mentality. It's the same person. All those people, those fucking weirdos, need to get locked into a room and just figure out their own issues, because that literally is the same. It's the same formula. If you like this equals racist, or if you don't like this equals whatever. It's like, dude,
only a Sith deals in absolutes.
no, look,
I'm with you.
we need to just judge a piece of media completely differently than everything else. You should be subjective about it. Be like, okay, you know what? This one's kind of shit. Okay, this one I didn't mind this and that and the other thing. It's fine, but it's okay. And then this one, oh, I really like that. Not just like everything is shit or everything is great. Just, figure it out. Don't be a clone, right? Don't have a brain. I think that's what every single one of us here do.
Why you hate
We
on
can actually
clones? What they do?
Yeah, I just want some nuance. It seems like a lot of, and I get it. I'm mad too, but this is not like the level of vitriol on some of them is like it's an Acolyte, and it's just not that. And if we treat it all like it's that, we're not going to get anywhere.
Well, that's the internet, man. You can't.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Yeah,
You'll get used to it.
It is kind of surprising that people are really fired up about this show. Yeah, like as you say, I can totally get it with something like the Acolyte or Ahsoka even, but like with this, it is such a little standalone thing that's not really trying to make a big name for itself.
No,
And yeah,
it's
it's
not
a bit
that deep.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, here's a question actually. So we know Kathleen wants to retire on a big win. Could she like?
That's going to be a while.
Could she fudge this as a win?
No.
Maybe if we all just
people
start
didn't hate
praising
it.
it,
Surely
we should
she
all
wants
just start
something
loving it.
bigger and more bombastically celebrated. I assume she'd want to go out on a movie that's successful rather than a
That
TV
Ray
show.
trilogy, if we ever get it.
Probably Ray, man.
Mm.
That's probably when she's gonna leave.
I mean, that could
Isn't
be
the
years
viewership
away now
really
at this
low?
point because we don't even have a writer for the Ray movie.
Who would have
The-
thought
the-
that Stephen
the
Knight
lead
would go
writer
do
quit.
Peaky Blinders? Yeah. What's opening a studio and doing Peaky Blinders movies?
Well,
I don't know, man.
My-
It's just the next big movie release is going to be Mandalorian and Grogu, isn't it? Like that's the next lined up for release, and so
Yeah.
They've got to
that
think of
could
a better
that
name
could be
than
the thing that she's gambling it on. But even that is unlikely to be a big hit financially.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be an expensive one to make, presumably. It'll be on par with like at least Force Awakens or Rogue One, say. So you're talking like 250 million at least on it.
they just finished it, eh?
Yeah,
How old is
it's
she
wrapped
again?
filming.
How old is she again? Because even if we're generous, and then by the time the first Ray, just assume the first one of a trilogy is a banger, she'd still be almost in her 80s by the time this comes out. Like,
No, I think
Yeah.
she's younger than that. She's like 70
she?
or something.
But she's like Mr. Burns. The evil keeps her
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
she's got every illness at the same time. They're all trying to get through the door.
She gets injected
Bring
with
me a
like
young
$10,000 a month.
Just bite
Uh,
into them.
She is 71, apparently. So you know, an age when most people might want to retire, but like I guess when you're doing a job like that, you don't.
Well,
I mean, Bob Iger's, yeah,
Imagine
he's
her
like
legacy
well
if
into
she'd
his 70s.
retired. She'd retired with George Lucas. Her legacy would have been incredible.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
instead, you know, it's like that saying in Batman, you know, live long enough to become the villain. See yourself.
well, nobody wants to just be the assistant to the really successful guy. So I can imagine, like, yeah, at that point, it's like, okay, I've been the producer on all these guys' movies. I want to do it now. I want a shot being the creative director. I want to be a studio head.
You
And
know what I think?
that's a great idea if you're good at it.
She was probably with all those movies and stuff. She was probably so accommodating and understanding and like not pushy and with all the other executives that were on those films that we all loved. And George probably saw that and he's like, "Oh, she's like a awesome chick to work with, awesome person, awesome business partner. I'm gonna give her Lucasfilm." And then she just fucking destroys everything.
She's the ultimate
Well-
Palpatine. The whole time she was just waiting.
Could you imagine?
I mean,
Yeah.
from what Steven
Literally.
Spielberg said about her, like she was quite opinionated, and so she would be like piping up during meetings and stuff where she probably shouldn't have, and like interjecting and giving her opinion on what like they should do. Usually it revolved around like, you know, giving the women bigger roles or something like that. Fair enough, but I don't think she was necessarily like this like super agreeable.
she got away
nice-
now.
Yeah, she certainly did, and well, I guess that's the pattern that it sets for her career and her creative outlook. Like that's what she believes passionately about, and like when she's put in a position of power where she can actually like call the shots, that's what she implemented. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I think Theory's right, actually. I think she must have said something and then she's like, okay. Just waited. And she's in control of all of it now. And she systematically destroyed both of those men's franchises.
I don't think she wanted to destroy it. I mean, I imagine she would love to have built them up into like even bigger financial juggernauts than they were. It's just
Subvert?
like
Maybe? Like,
it probably
something
just
that she can say?
change.
yeah.
Like,
that's
if
what I
I
meant,
was, if I was to play devil's advocate and try and put myself into her position, I would imagine what she wanted to do was to make them more female centric, but still keep the same level of audience retention and success and cultural impact, but just also factoring in like that good old social justice push, you know, to redress the balance. I think that would have been her ideal scenario.
I don't think you get where she is by being a good person.
Well,
I think
mean,
she eats
possibly not.
children.
Allegedly. Yeah.
That's why she stays so young.
It's the whole idea of like, let's, you know, hire let's have a job casting. We have two people for the job. One's a man, one's a woman. Let's say one is extremely qualified, and that's the man, for example. But we're going to choose the woman because I'm Kathleen
Time
Kennedy.
for a woman to be in charge of Star Wars.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like let's just choose the best person for the job, you know, man or
Yeah.
woman. It doesn't matter. It's who's going to get the job done.
I like this one. Like you're giving her a lot for no fucking reason. Like I'm not trying to say like she's this creative genius who deserves loads of praise. It's more just like I'm sure in her ideal scenario, she would have built Star Wars into an even more successful brand and surpassed George Lucas's success, but also made it more progressive minded, shall we say, and more in tune with the message of Hollywood. I think that's what she imagined was going to happen, and as some other people have pointed out in chat, she just massively misread the culture of the fan base, and yeah, combine that with a lot of creative mismanagement of the property. It's a deadly combination, really, isn't it? We've
I don't
seen
think so.
what happened.
I don't feel like she even wanted to make it good. I just think she had one goal in mind, which was to elevate women in
Getting
film.
rid of the
That's it.
expanded universe that
Yeah.
I thought at best they would just rip off constantly. They didn't even do that. Now they're
Well,
sort of doing it.
Well,
But-
imagine being the president and saying that we have no source material. We don't have comic books. We don't have
Yeah.
books.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Like that to me is just
And because you didn't want to pay royalties doesn't really track with me, because which is the common answer given. They didn't want to have to pay all the. It's like I don't think that's it. They wanted it to be Disney.
Well,
Well,
why
look
not
what they're
both,
doing.
right?
Look,
That's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
bonus.
both. Yeah,
exactly, exactly. And look what they did. They killed Han Solo. They killed Luke. I mean, Leia unfortunately is gone. They
She killed
replaced
herself.
R2D2 with freaking BB-8, some new droid. C-3PO is like, I lost his mind. He's like, my friends. It's like, what? They've killed all of the original legacy characters to make way for their new shit. Instead of just passing the torch properly and respectfully, then people would really love the new ones.
What would you do with a Rey movie?
I wouldn't.
Offer.
I'd kill her in the
Right
first
answer.
2 minutes.
I wouldn't.
Have Luke wake up and it was all just a Force vision, and it's like the day after Return of the Jedi, and go
I mean,
from
like,
there.
a legitimate answer of trying to actually make something worthwhile. We want to put her on a big old journey of realizing just how fucked up everything has been and how many mistakes she's made, and actually put her through something. I'd want to take a few things away from her, like make her suffer significantly.
Maybe a limb or two.
Embrace
I mean,
being a Palpatine.
Yeah.
We can laugh, but seriously, like, it would actually make her more interesting if she actually
would.
went through something difficult and lost.
Yeah.
There's no way to do it now because you'd have to do everything that Luke should have done.
Well,
and
if we're
it's just gonna
allowed,
feel
you know,
alien. Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
Unless it was magical stuff, but yeah, it's going to be very hard for them, even if they right now tried to course correct, because it's all roads lead to.
There
Big
is,
camera.
there is no course correcting. After episode 9, there is no course correcting whatsoever.
I wouldn't even be
I would
against her
have-
starting up a Jedi temple and doing it so ineptly that she unfortunately generates like a new sect of Sith. Like, they're also interested in going a particular direction. She loses control, and then she has to actually like stop them or something.
Well, yeah, because I think you could have her like come to that realization of like, oh man, I really like look down on Luke Skywalker like for being a total failure and losing his belief in himself, and shit, I've just made the same mistakes, and as it turns out, being a Jedi Master and like reforming the entire Jedi Order isn't as easy as I thought it would be.
yeah,
Who
I
knew?
want to hyper overconfident. Like, oh, I'm a genius. I got everything worked out for me. So anyone learning from me is going to end up pretty great as well. Just stuff like that.
But I, like, you know, as we say,
What
it's,
about Finn?
no one's gonna.
Make him a
Finn,
Jedi
yeah.
immediately.
He's fucked.
Finn
dude.
just always in the background going, Ray!
He's
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
You could
You
just
could
start
honestly
by-
have so much fun, like with him becoming like the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy and like
Cal
completely surpassing
Kestis
her.
comes out of his hidden planet and starts training everyone. That's the best I could offer you.
I just think started back at the end of Rise of Skywalker, and when she says Ray Skywalker, then she says, "Just kidding," you know, Ray Palpatine. Eyes go red. She slays that woman and just starts killing.
That would be embracing being a
Combuster and
Palpatine,
lightning.
and that you're going to try to make up for all the evil that has come before you is at least something. But just saying you're a Skywalker is alienating, and no one likes it.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine we got like full control and we go, hey, Leslie Headland, we want you to finish Acolyte. We're going to give you another 3 seasons in a movie. You go, girl. We give it just to see what happens.
Well, they're coming out with articles now about how Manny Jacinto's saying that
Yeah.
in season 2 they had a huge plan for Plagueis.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
sure
more
they
than
did.
just being a guy in a cave who
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
carves
right.
on them?
As if that's
Stolen idea.
remotely special too. It's like, you know, our first season, it wasn't just we had ideas for the story going forward, you know. It's like, yeah, everyone usually does.
It was
When
further
they make
proving they
story.
didn't understand when she was like, no, Plagueis didn't get. No one actually created Anakin. The attempt to create Anakin is what made the Force in. But they don't
Dude,
get that.
Dude, I was so pissed when she said
I
that.
know.
She's like, "Oh, the whole reason the Jedi didn't want to train Anakin is because of Osha and May." I just
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's super frustrating. They
Yeah.
don't listen.
fuck, dude.
That's why the kids' show's not so bad.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what I'm saying, robot.
Yeah. For the record, no one's going to be surprised by this. For the record, the kids' show is way better than Kenobi, Boba Fett, Acolyte. I think Ahsoka too.
Thank you. Thank you.
And certainly Mando season 3.
Yeah,
Mando season.
I know it's a low bar, but
a very low bar. Yeah, but
But
you know, I
my
think we're happy they're not touching any of the characters, any of the main characters.
yes.
Well, we don't want them touching the kids, that's for sure.
Jeez.
It's Hollywood, baby.
At best,
You never know.
I
Gotta
might
get
get a
those
nice new lore edition of whatever this old Republic, former High Republic planet is. At best, that's what I'm hoping for. I like some of the things.
I
My
honestly
legit-
think it won't mess with the main series chronology or anything. It's just going to be a standalone little adventure unto
Well, fuck,
itself.
we say that, and then now this guy's let's say he's a Jedi, and they just completely destroy everything.
Honestly,
about
though, this is how you should do these Star Wars TV shows, where it is a standalone adventure that doesn't have like fucking everlasting implications for the lore of the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
Just have a group of characters who are interesting, well written, go on a little adventure in this great galaxy of adventure that you've got open to you, like this
Marvel.
galaxy of possibilities. Just have them do that. And if they're people you care about, that's fine. They don't need to change the entire face of Star Wars with every new TV show.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, not everything has to be end of the world, galaxy destroying thing. It could just be...
this is how Mandalorian started, and that was the appeal of it. It's the guy going on little adventures. He's a bounty hunter. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But,
Like
like,
they should just drop Darth Vader in this show. Just have him in. It doesn't have to make sense. Just have him in there.
But
Well,
build more
Luke
kids.
might show up at the end. This is 10 years into the New Republic, and if he's rebuilding, like they might try to put in him with a young Kylo showing up, which would probably not do well. Well, maybe depending on how they do it, be Skinwalker Luke again. But if
No,
the
they'd
kid is
keep
looking
it
for a
big Jedi.
Jedi, you know what I'm saying, and like that would be the only. They all think maybe that is the old Republic Jedi, not knowing that the Republic has fallen and been reformed, and there's been an emperor, and this is a new Republic. That might be all new to them. If it's a
Or they
partition
or
world.
someone notices Luke Skywalker with a lot of orphan kids and calls child protection services.
You could honestly have shows though, like that play on this idea of like, say, a different planet where they don't realize that the Empire has fallen, and they still believe that like the Darth Vader and the Emperor are in charge. Like again, there's all kinds of possibilities you can explore with that. I feel like they're so enamored with this idea that it's like the Marvel effect, where every new movie, every new TV show is going to bring about the end of the universe as we know it. Like, no, it doesn't have to be that big. Just like
They're already playing with Star Wars toys. Maybe Luke Skywalker will turn up. They know nothing of the history of what's happened, so he just hands them the box set of the OT and the prequels, and they start watching those.
And they're like, "Are there sequels?" And he's like, "No, they didn't make any."
why does this movie have like really crappy digital effects like put in at random points? Don't ask about that. The creator
Talk
just
about
couldn't
that.
stop messing with it.
My legit favorite scene, and I'm honest with this, was the callback to the holiday special.
Yeah,
I laughed so hard when that happened because I just thought, I know you're going to reference everything that Star Wars has done before making these shows, but to reference that was quite a gutsy move. And when the little flamboyant guy starts marching across the table, I thought, oh, that's a good callback. Kids watching little transvestites performing.
That's good stuff. I was going to ask you, gentlemen, as well, right? You may be aware that they released the first full trailer for the Snow White movie this week.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it yet.
Well,
No interest.
Are you interested in seeing what the dwarves look like now? Because prepare yourself for this. I hope you haven't eaten.
Wasn't there like
dinner.
a lot of controversy about this? Because
Well,
Yeah,
this is what they are now.
weren't they like fully grown?
fully grown.
This
What's that mean?
is.
Like weren't they like?
Oh
full
right,
size?
yeah. The I don't know what those behind
They
the
just
scenes
weren't little
pictures were.
people.
It might have been
didn't-
an early stage of production, and
What the fuck is this?
I thought it was
This
supposed to be
is-
two different groups, but yeah, this is now what the elves is.
this
Dwarves
is what
look
the dwarves are going to look like now, and they are nightmare fuel.
over half
was
a
gonna-
million downvotes.
I was
Yeah,
going to
this-
ask this, and I was hoping someone who had an answer. The original photos that had people in costumes instead of these things, they weren't like placeholders
things.
as far as I can tell. They completely swapped from that to this, didn't they?
I think they
that's
did,
exactly, yeah.
Because
Wasn't
when
there
they
an
originally
actual
did it,
dwarf?
they wanted to have live action actors. Peter Dinklage got butthurt because he didn't want dwarves in it, so they had to use real human. Like, wait, dwarves are humans too. Sorry,
What are you trying to say?
Whoops.
What are you trying to
I've
say?
jumped to conclusions.
they used normally proportioned people
Oh, no.
in stupid outfits, and it got caught, with these behind the scenes snaps. There was a big backlash against it, so Disney had to desperately scramble. What can we do? Well, we'll put CGI dwarves in it, and
Yeah.
this,
Oh,
my
no.
friends, is what we ended up with.
not just this movie, Time Bandits ended up firing their dwarf actors. And like Peter's comments really did affect like dwarf communities actually pretty
Fucking
pissed
so
at
many
him.
people, dude.
Yeah, like they've ruined a bunch of roles. Like these were working actors that now can't get roles anymore because Peter.
Yeah, he fucked it for everybody.
Yeah,
Destroyed it. He's
Pulled up a tiny
multi-millionaire.
stepladder
He's
behind
fine.
him.
You think
Bro,
he
no-
could have been the bigger man in this situation and just put his feelings aside? God damn it.
There are those who think little of him.
Now they all hate him.
going to hell.
Well,
I've seen
yeah.
the defense of that being like he had every right to say that little people shouldn't be reserved for fantasy roles, and then it's just like, well, they're not. That's just another role they can do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
now
no
it's
one
not
said, like-
because Disney don't want to step on anyone's fucking toes.
Yeah. And you ended up with this perfect storm of like just trying to like appease every minority group that you can think of.
And
you
they've
end up with-
reshot it so many times and adding in more scenes with the younger Snow White to try to make her likable that this budget is like insanely over. Like this and Captain America are tying for
$1 billion.
Yeah.
basically when all is
I
said
think
and done.
When the
I can
studio
see it.
goes into panic mode like this and desperately tries to course correct midway through production to deal with criticism and try to like do what they think the fans want, it's always a recipe for disaster, especially when they have no clear understanding of what people actually want.
Is there someone in
Wasn't
chat being
there-
like, "These live in my garden"?
Wasn't there a photo that came out about bandits and one of them has an actual dwarf in it?
Well, that was the before those bandits, the diverse bandits was I think
Yeah,
what the
like,
dwarves were supposed to be before.
There was an
and then they
actual
changed it.
dwarf in the bandits.
Yes.
I think there was one. I'm gonna see if I can find them actually because I had some saved pictures of them kicking around.
What do you call them then? If the dwarf meets the other dwarf, he goes, "What the fuck's wrong with you? You're all CGI."
Let's see if I can
Yeah,
find it. Here.
magical creatures.
Yeah, like
Like
well, they
Steve.
couldn't even really call them dwarves. Oh yeah, I've got it here actually. Yeah, hold on, let me share.
You mean they can't call them dwarves?
Well, because they didn't want to offend anyone, so they had to come up with something. They were called like magical forest creatures or something.
We've lost the plot theory. We've lost the plot. Like dwarves used to be a magical creature.
There
Those
is.
people dwarfism.
Right,
Hold
so
on,
this
there
is
you go.
this
Was
is
this
what they
the
had.
original?
Yeah, so that dude right there in the lower right side, like that's the actual dwarf actor. And,
Oh my god.
yeah,
So
so
what's
this is what they had.
Who the hell are these guys?
Well, these
They
were the
gonna be
seven dwarves.
Get fucked. No.
Yes.
Well,
They
wait,
were.
why are they 8 then?
It's like Ryan Kennel.
These are supposed to be bandits, I think. That save Snow White.
The fuck?
And that's not a placeholder because you're not dressing like that just to have a
Yeah.
placeholder to do
No,
the
exactly.
situation.
Oh god.
That's great.
It is the most
Look how
diverse
happy they
lineup
look.
of humans I think I've seen.
They've all been
Not since
removed.
Rings of Power.
Who was who is the real question. Who was going to be dopey and sleepy and angry and
I think we can pick lazy.
yeah, I'll say I'll leave you to decide that one.
But yeah, this is some
Oh.
incredible stuff right here. But yeah, the trailer that's come out, it's currently sitting at 5 million views, just over 5 million. It's had a mighty 23,000 upvotes and 541,000 downvotes.
Jesus Christ.
You know,
How
for
do you-
anyone
So
who would
annoying.
say like, "Oh, it's just a small group of extreme chuds on YouTube who don't like this thing," yeah,
guess
when
so.
you get 500,000 downvotes on your trailer, you're in some bad territory right there.
What are they
Or
trying
weird,
to say?
weird.
YouTuber lives matter too.
Yeah, YouTubers are humans as well, you know.
Yeah.
They're trying to get it
Smiley.
shut so hard. They got an evil witch that's better looking than Snow White.
Did
That's,
they?
They do have that covered in the
Gal
trailer, though.
Gadot?
well, it's about inner beauty now, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
And then
she's
they
the
hire an actress that's
She's
just
the
a
witch,
total
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. Well, and it's supposed to be inner virtue and Snow White because she survived a snowstorm. But either way, her weird and calling the prince creepy and that he was a stalker. That interview, like, it blew out of not just our community.
she
Everyone
do
knows
this?
about that.
I'm so out of the loop. I haven't followed anything to do with
She
Snow
had
White.
interviews where that's where if you've ever heard like weird, and she calls it like she calls the classical story creepy and that the prince was a stalker. And like a lot of people ended up hearing about those interviews. And yeah, It's not good.
You know how film should
Share
end?
mates to no prince.
She asks the magic mirror. He goes, "Who's the fairest of them all?" And he goes, "You." The end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
just
should be the
lie.
film.
He does basically, like, the mirror does say that in the trailer, where it's like, your beauty is beyond compare. But there's also this other girl who's nice.
She's
And then she was a picture of Rachel Zegler.
she's okay.
In that first rant, she was like, "Who knows if talking about her male co-star? Who knows if he'll even be in the final project?" And now months later, it's like she's the one that's been edited to hell, and they've added the younger actress board. It's Hollywood, baby.
Rachel's been edited.
Rachel Zegler, yeah, that's where all the reshoots are. Is trying to add more of the younger actress of Snow White to make her likable.
But of all the characters to race swap, you pick the one whose name is literally after the skin color. And then
Right.
she says the fairest of them all. That means fair-skinned. So then they have to go like, well, fairest means just, but she's the evil queen. Why does she care about being just?
In the original story, it was like fairest of them all meant the most beautiful.
Well, and fair-skinned, because fair-skinned back then was a
they
sign
kind
of
of went
wealth.
hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah, because you stayed out of the sunlight, which meant you were rich.
Theory, do you know who the evil witch is in this film?
No, you guys just said it was Gal Gadot, right?
Yeah. I didn't know if you do. Yeah, it's Wonder
Yeah,
Woman. So
I
it's a bit of a-
didn't know till now.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
that's what seems so ridiculous.
Yeah. The
not
trailer
surprised.
requires her to act as well, which is a problem.
I was gonna say it's just cardboard acting.
Most of her acting roles require
I-
acting, unfortunately.
Because I do want to
Hello,
I want to
no.
make it clear. Yeah.
Sorry.
The last son of Krypton. But I really like her, and she's gorgeous, and she seems like quite a nice person. So I got nothing against her personally, but holy fuck, she can't act. Like, she's done well to get as far as she has in her career. I'll say that much. And when you play a villain, I think this is something that I hadn't appreciated fully. Like, they often hire properly good actors, like guys like Jeremy Irons and Keith David and stuff, who've done like the villain voiceover roles, because it requires a real gravitas. It requires acting range to be able to play a villain effectively, even if it's in an animated movie for Disney. You need something like that, and she ain't got it. And I think that starts to come across in the trailer, and this is the best of her performance that you see, and it's pretty weak.
I don't think people are going to like the story because she basically said that her father trained her to be the leader that she knows she can be, and it just seems like that is what we're getting.
Bro,
Well,
chat.
it's like Harry Potter. You actually need those good actors and those theater actors to lift what's sort of silly, like silly magic and stuff. And yeah, I don't think she's quite got it.
Well, yeah, imagine if we'd had Lord of the Rings and, like, you had some half-assed actor playing Gandalf and Sauron and stuff. Like, imagine how shit it would be then if it, because it hinges on that commitment to it.
Yeah.
Because you shall not pass, or whatever. He just does that. Lifeless.
If you had like David
can
Hasselhoff
pass.
playing
You shall
Gandalf or something.
Run, run, you fools! Just go.
Has she been in anything successful? Because
Who?
what? The Hunger
Who's that
Games?
one?
Rachel. Yeah, Hunger Games, right? And then the remake of West Side Story.
Was that the
So
one
West
that
Side
had no
Story was a
rush?
flop. The Hunger Games, I don't think it did great, but I think it did turn a profit.
I'm just wondering. She keeps I understand Pedro is the darling child, but she seems to be like, why are they hiring her? I'm not understanding.
Yeah,
I
so
think she got
she
signed up
related?
before
Well,
she started
Shazam
doing
2 did
interviews.
great.
Oh, Shazam! Forgive me for forgetting about Shazam too.
Yeah, so the Hunger Games made, like, her movies made 349 million, which ain't great, but it did only cost 100 million, so it probably was profitable.
MauLer, I did legit forget she was in Shazam too. Yeah.
Most people don't remember that movie happened.
I
Yeah.
don't remember much about it.
I kind of wonder what would have happened if Gandalf was played by Sean Connery.
Ooh.
I think it would have been terrible.
It was
I'd like
he
to
was
see it.
supposed to.
Yeah, he was offered it, but he didn't understand the material, apparently. and he didn't
Matrix
follow
too,
the
right?
rules.
Sean Connery was going to be Morpheus with Will Smith as Neo, but he
Yeah.
said he didn't understand.
That,
Really?
that dude had everything thrown at him in the late 90s, early
Well,
2000s.
Sean Connery.
And then he eventually decided, like, well, I need to take something. and then he did League of Gentlemen.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen
League
is
of
an
Extraordinary
excellent
Gentlemen.
film.
And that
I've
was
heard
it. He
it's
called a pin on it
aged quite
after that.
well.
Didn't he retire after that? He was like, "Fuck it, I
Yeah.
can't decide anymore. I'm making bad decisions here."
I think he did that movie, and then he was just like, I don't fucking understand films anymore. I'm out.
Too old to get involved in this bullshit.
Yeah, I think so. That's all it was. I mean, you can't imagine anyone but Ian McKellen playing Gandalf at this point, but
Yeah.
could have been Sean Connery. Needs some crazy alternate reality.
You shall not pass.
Shall not
Doesn't,
pass. Yeah, you can't help it. Yeah, sorry.
Doesn't Rachel Zegler lead a communist revolution in this one?
It's just what it seems like it's going to be. Basically,
She's going like our kingdom. It goes, it's not our kingdom, it's your kingdom. That's not how it works.
Shit.
I'm willing
Funny
to
to
bet
just
like
hang
she's
them.
because in the original story she gets poisoned by the apple, and then like she essentially spends the rest of it in a coma, and then it's the prince who has to wake her up from it with true love's kiss, isn't it? So she has to be
none of that.
rescued by the prince. Yeah, we ain't getting any of that shit now. I guarantee it. If anything, he'll get poisoned by the apple, and she'll have to go and rescue him.
Yeah, probably, dude.
They will. Like that's the mentality.
Do you think it'll be an accident? He'll just fall with his mouth open and go,
He'll kiss her and wake her up, and then get arrested because he didn't ask for informed consent, and it'll be over.
Probably.
He'll
Most
get
likely.
the job.
yeah,
done.
but it depends on the kiss. If he proper deep throated tongue going, like that.
Well, you got to get the cure inside. So
It has to be done some way.
This is tongue's kiss. He just goes
making
on
sure
for
it
10
works.
minutes going,
yeah,
You
Your whole
just see him
chat when
unzipping
you
his
mentioned-
fly. It's like, do you think I've got a couple of minutes before anyone sees me?
the dwarves
was
are
gonna ask
gone.
where that
I've
kiss
got about
was.
5 minutes.
38
pretty
seconds to
impressive.
be exact.
It's Dopey that's going to be watching. He's not going to fucking understand. No one's going to believe him.
No, Dopey's about to leave, and he goes, "No, watch Dopey."
Staring him in the eye the whole time. Look at me, you retard.
Oh, retards of people
Tell
too.
anyone, I'll kill you.
Oh, this stream's gone down a dark path.
They did this. To
I'll
us.
get blamed for it again, as always.
I'm more
Naturally.
looking forward to Brett Cooper's Daily Wire Snow White than I am as an actual Snow White adaptation than I am anything. coming up
Is
from
that
Disney.
still a thing? Was that just done as a complete joke, or are they
I
actually
thought maybe
still making
they
that?
they got it done really quick, and then they were just like, well, now to wait to compete with Disney. So
Mhm.
I mean, they should really release it first, shouldn't they? Like, they should get the jump on Disney rather than
I don't
like,
know,
trying
maybe
to
it's-
compete head to head with it. Because like even if it's good, you're still just the Daily Wire.
Oh,
Like
it's
you can't
canned?
compete
She's
with
fine,
Disney in terms of like.
yeah, but
reach
they
and-
can
and
spin up a whole bunch
advertising.
of articles comparing them
Isn't
straight
she
away.
being fired or something? Isn't she going?
That's unfortunate.
Coverage.
May
Or
I?
the lead, what's the name of Snow White? She's being kicked off, isn't she? Or Daily Wire?
Mm.
Oh, not sure actually.
Or she's
Yeah.
leaving or something?
Help us out. Has Brett Cooper left the Daily Wire?
Mm.
And I'm not going to say another goddamn word until I see
Let's
chat
just
answer me. Yeah, it says
Uh,
apparently the firing thing is just a rumor. Yeah, a lot of people say no. Yeah, it's just a rumor.
What about the new Harry
Oh, that's a
Potter
shame.
rumor?
I was hoping it was a disaster. Like everyone who tries to make Snow White is just a box office disaster.
Yeah, like box
It's just
office wins.
cursed.
I mean, you're gonna have to go some to like improve on the original. Like that's the movie that basically launched Disney.
Yeah, you can tell the Daily Wire one will go subscribe to the Daily Wire halfway through.
Yeah,
She'll just
That is
turn to the
funny.
camera. Before I bite this apple, please subscribe. Get all your news and content. She's doing all that.
Ben will be
Yeah,
talking
and
about
that's
something
proper
really
racist.
serious and stop for a mattress read.
Tell you what though, the other thing that's come up this week is they're making an HBO adaptation of the Harry Potter series. Like,
Oh.
not a huge, like, I'm not a huge Harry Potter guy, but I'm aware that it was quite a big thing for a while, like, with the magical wizards and all the stuff. That's all good. Anyway, yeah, they're starting to cast the movie, or sorry, the TV show, obviously. And one of the roles that's waiting to be filled is the role of Snape. And I think apparently they found their Snape. They, according to Deadline anyway, they have approached, what is his name? Papa Isidu. I'm sorry if I butchered his name. But he is apparently in line to play Severus Snape. And like here he is, right? So he's the guy on the left. Just in case you're
I was
wondering.
going to ask which one is he? He's the one on the left. You sure they're not the same
the
people?
left, right.
It's the guy on the left, right? Because I know there's pretty close likeness there, and it's hard to tell them apart.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's the guy on the left, and I don't know. It seems uncanny. Like, so if I read the description of what Severus Snape actually looked like, it says he was a thin man with sallow skin, a large hooked nose, and yellow teeth. He usually dressed in flowing black robes, which made him resemble an overgrown bat. He had shoulder-length, greasy black hair, which framed his face in curtains, curling lips, and dark, penetrating eyes that resembled tunnels. Yeah.
Man, the miracles of plastic surgery about to make this guy go through a
like
lot,
him, dude.
huh?
Yeah.
Is it going to be reverse Tropic Thunder?
I was going to say that, yeah.
What is the point of doing a 10-year, one season, a book adaptation of it super faithful if you're going to not be super faithful with your first casting?
And if you have anything to say about it, you're racist. It's like,
Yeah.
well, no, we're just trying to stick to the source material. Why
Is
would
Kingsley
you...
Shacklebolt going to be white? That's a black character. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, this is the thing, right? Because I could sort of understand if they just came out and admitted, like, look, we know that in the books Snape was white, and that's fine. Alan Rickman did an incredible job portraying him in the movies, but we're going to go in a totally different direction with this show. Like, we want to just like do something completely different here. Okay, fine. But I know they're going to try and play the whole like, well, it was never specifically said that he was white bullshit. When it comes to like this character, and that's going to be their out for this. And it's like,
if it said he was white 10,000 times in the book, that still wouldn't matter. Like, they only pull that argument for as long as they could pull it. It wouldn't mean anything if they couldn't.
I just don't understand why. You know, what are we virtue signaling here?
You know, it'd be funny when Harry gets casted and he meets Hagrid. He goes, "You're a Jew, Harry." He goes, "I'm a what? A Jew, and a thumping good one."
You're selling me on this show.
Everyone just starts just picking up their ethnicities.
I mean, you guys could probably, like, I don't know, are any of you guys Harry Potter fans?
Not really.
Because...
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
Well, I mean, you could give us your opinion then. So, like, the movies, I was under the impression that they were a pretty good adaptation of the books, but perhaps they are not, and maybe you can fill us in.
For the most part. Yeah, they are.
So, like, it's not like, you know...
Scenes?
So it's not like amongst the fan base, there's a lot of people crying out for like a new take on this. Like, oh man, those movies really fell short.
Those movies were amazing, dude.
They're great.
I mean, the books I think are better, but the movies have their own magic.
They left a lot of scenes out of some of the books, and they changed the ending significantly. So there was always a vocal group saying that like a direct adaptation would be great.
Yeah.
But like casting, they were pretty perfect. The only problem with Alan Rickman, he's about 20 years older than Snape would have been. But other than that, that's a pittance.
So they just need to get Adam Driver.
Yeah. Yes. 100% Adam Driver.
Be easy shot.
Yeah. Do you think they'll call it Defense Against the Dark Arts, or do you think they'll have to rename it?
Defense Against
Can't
the
call
Arts.
them the Dark Lord.
Defense against autistic.
Defense against the tism.
The non-melanated Lord.
Yeah, Ron got sort of done dirty.
The non-melanated. The sun cancer. Oh yeah, I don't know.
What about black magic? What about black magic, Albus? And he goes, "Listen, I'll have none of that language here, Harry. It's African magic."
Once you see the sorting hat and how they've divided up the kids into their groups, it's all going to get a bit dark.
Fuck,
you are a Jew.
Well, you could have a kid say, like, I identify as a Slytherin. It's like, wow, okay, you're in Slytherin then.
Yeah.
If Harry does a racism and everyone's like, oh no, Dumbledore's about to take 10 points from Gryffindor, then he adds 10 points. Like,
it's going to make Snape talking about purebloods really awkward.
Oh
And
yeah, that's gonna be.
There's a
rough,
lot of
dude.
things that it would be made really awkward if you race swap certain characters.
Oh, go on, do it. Like cast Hermione as mixed race, and then have people call her a mudblood. It's
Yeah,
like, see
then
how
have
well
her-
that goes down.
She organizes like a slave rebellion essentially with the elves, the house elves. Like she has a whole, not go over well.
Wait,
if they do that.
isn't James Potter hate Severus?
He
Yes.
hates his ass. Yeah.
So
dude,
they
use-
reason why.
this-
James Potter's wearing a big white hood, and he goes, "I don't like you, pure bloods." He's like,
we all know what they did to Severus on the tree. It's not going to
Oh,
look very
God.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging him
good.
upside
Gryffindor
down.
walking around with bleach and a robe.
Yeah, dude. It's
Another 10 points to Gryffindor.
I mean, then you're going to have to change so many story elements because then you're actually going to be like offending people in that case. And it's like, all right. Well, where does the buck stop?
Well, the buck theoretically stops with J.K. Rowling, and like, isn't she kind of on board with a lot of this
Apparently,
stuff?
she's infused with the casting. She's got her influence in there. So if this is what she
No.
wants, then
This is
that'll
what she
be.
wants?
I don't know. We'll have to find out. This is not confirmed, right? This is just speculated.
Yeah,
Well,
speculation.
well,
yeah.
Hermione being black when the Cursed Child came out.
And her reasoning was it was a stage play, and it was no different than Shakespeare or other stage plays where different people can play the role. That was her reasoning. You know, whether she
Well,
uses
she
that.
said, I
as,
never said
like-
the character's skin color, and then someone went into it, went white, and then you can see it on the art cover. She's on the front cover of the page. She's a white girl with brown hair.
Well, I was going to say, doesn't she get specifically described as having like long brown hair?
Yeah,
So, kind of a
she
tough
just went,
sell if-
nah.
Thick,
It's like
curly.
Dumbledore.
brown hair.
Dumbledore
Brown
wasn't
hair.
gay, then he is.
Yeah.
No, Dumbledore was always gay. It was always gay from the beginning in her story Bible, and it's very obvious that the single older man that dresses in fine silks was gay. But it wasn't until the movies that they tried to have him tell Harry about a girlfriend.
Well, I
and she
thought
wrote
it
in
was
the margins.
strange
Now
when
he's
he's
gay.
rubbing Harry's shoulders, going, "You're the chosen one, Harry." That kind of gave
Can
it
you see
away.
my magic wand?
Oh no.
The thing is, like, I know they're going to keep making stuff like this. They'll do this TV show adaptation, and then they'll probably do more spin-offs from that, and then they'll probably do a rebooted movie series. Like, it will never end because it's a money spinner. Of course, they'll keep doing stuff like this. You just have, I guess, you just have to ask, like, from a creative point of view, are they just going to go progressively downhill because they're going to get more and more infused with all this, like, bullshit, like diverse casting and race swapping characters just because they can.
I just saw a good one in the chat. Hagrid will be played by Lizzo.
Hmm.
I hope so.
They
Not
really
the,
can't
not
mess
the
this
disaster
up.
you might think.
Well, you'd have
Yeah,
to
it
do
could be
like
fun.
Godzilla when she approaches, the water shakes and the building starts crumbling.
Fat bastard, basically.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have an earthquake.
Isn't there
He's lost
considerably
all the
less of
light now.
Lizzo than there used to be?
Well, she would just take Dudley's cake and start eating it herself.
She just eats Dudley.
Wait,
Like,
Trigger,
I
did you
guess
just
you guys
say that
haven't
there's
watched Harry
less
Potter enough.
Lizzo than there used to be?
Yeah, well, isn't
Yeah,
she
well,
like
started
isn't
losing
she like
weight.
totally in the gym all the time, like trying to get in shape and stuff?
Yeah, she's definitely not on the Opesmic. What do you call that drug?
Ozempic.
Yeah. She's definitely
Ozempic.
not on that. It's all in the gym.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, that shit's really bad for you.
Yeah, it takes
Well,
away your
yeah, like
bone
imagine
density.
a drug that causes your body to not process food that you eat. I can imagine. Yeah, that's not great for you.
And it's all like bubbles in your guts. And, dude,
It's just, it's so fucking stupid. It's like, oh my god, I've tried everything except like cutting down what I eat and exercising more.
yeah.
It's a
That's
mystery.
the thing. Everyone
It's
wants a
that one
magic pill.
thing.
You don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter. Like I don't care any argument that you want to make about like genetics or like I'm big boned or like fucking slow metabolism or whatever stupid excuses you've got. It's like your body doesn't generate mass out of thin air. Like ultimately, if you're eating more food, you're going to gain weight. If you eat less than you burn up, you will lose weight. It doesn't matter what else is going on there. That will always work. And it's like, yeah,
Around
it
too many
requires
fat homeless
discipline.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say discipline and willpower. If they have
Yeah.
that's what they need. Not Ozempic, an injection that gives you willpower.
There you
That'll
go.
be okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Call
The
it a
speed
punch.
she's done it
Yeah.
too. Like she has to be on some good gear.
Yeah. I mean,
Who wants to
could
bet
do it.
Harry's family? You know, the Dudleys or the what they call the Dursleys.
The Dursleys.
Yeah.
Dursleys,
Mm.
yeah.
They will be white.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I
Well,
can guarantee.
they're villainous, so they have to be.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, didn't
Malfoy's
J.K.
gonna be
Rowling
white.
base them on like just they are your typical sort of middle class conservative family who, don't
Have
have any
kids
great.
in cupboards.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
a
much.
normal thing.
Well, I think she described them as like, well, they're Daily Mail readers. Like, and you can smell the contempt just like seething out of her pores when
They
she
just have
says
an
that.
illegal workers underneath their house just making toys.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But-
a terrible casting. Absolutely terrible.
I would be kind of
Is he
surprised
gonna
if
do the
this is
impression?
who Snape is.
Do
They
you think
can't
he's
mess
going to
this
do
up.
Alan Rickman?
What's that?
Do you think he'll do Alan Rickman's? He'll go Weasley. Do you think he'll do all that? Or do you think
No, he's probably going to do his own
Mr.
interpretation.
Potter.
Be all
I hope so. I hope it's awful.
As you guys say, like someone like Adam Driver would probably be a really good match.
It feels
Great, like,
remarkably
wise.
suitable, and I think everyone would like to see him give it a shot. Obviously, if he's on board, but
Yeah.
I think the fact that it's a logical choice and it would be a good.
It feels
casting
like
choice means that means it won't happen. It's like casting Henry Cavill as James Bond. Like, well, it's like everyone's in favor of it, and it makes complete sense. That's why they won't do it.
Jack Nicholson getting his chance to play Joker. It just made so much sense. It's like, yeah, it feels like something that should happen.
Yeah.
Adam Driver looks like Snape. Just do it anyway. Come on.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy, I believe, was being thrown out as Voldemort.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
he's a good actor.
I
He
could
can
see
play
him
it.
being Tom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know about Vold. Maybe with the makeup.
Well, with the prosthetic, if they do
Yeah.
the same type
I mean,
of...
Cillian Murphy is quite old now, so
Maybe that'll work in his favor, right?
I say it would work for a Voldemort, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, because I don't know, what is Voldemort meant to be, like 60, 50, 60 years
Well,
old?
I mean,
he's
different parts of his lifetime, different stories. So maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if it's the Tom Riddle version, it's like, okay, you just cast a younger actor for that.
Yeah.
He was in Hogwarts, or what do you call it? He was in Hagrid's like class, or like a year above him, so he's approximate to that age.
Yeah, people are saying Voldemort was in his 60s. Sure.
Yeah, it's
I
close
go
enough.
with
Doesn't he
Probably.
become a fetus?
Yeah, he does.
That's
Does
his,
that
like,
de-age him, or is he back to the same age when he comes back?
New
It's a
body,
new
right?
body.
But
isn't it?
approximate to the actor being played. Yeah.
That sucks. I mean, you literally get shot by your own spell, then you become a fetus, then you grow back into the same age you was. So you just skip all those youthful years. You could, like, Goblet of Fire comes around and you go, come on, I should have been 20.
Yeah, those Horcruxes don't work the
well,
way
that's
you
good.
want them to.
Well, it's like when we watched The Search for Spock, MauLer, where it's like Spock, like he gets killed in the previous movie, and then he comes back on this like planet where like he rapidly ages, and he basically skips his entire life to the exact age that he died in the space of like 2 days. Like, fuck, why couldn't I have like stopped at like 25 or 30? You know, then I
Yeah.
could have a whole bunch of fun all over again.
Don't they do that with Picard, where he gets put into a robot body,
Yeah,
but the robot body is a
Oh my
90-year-old man?
god. So
And it's
stupid.
like, why would anyone want that?
Fucking
You
All the same
can't die
problems.
and you're 90.
I think Red Letter Media had the best take on that. It's like, does he have a bad back and a fucking leaky prostate? Did you build that into his robot body as well?
Yes, sports.
Yeah. Oh, it's good stuff. Say what? Let me answer a few super chats while we're here.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Come on. Tom Waiting. This is a question for the whole panel. What's a song that really hits you in the feels? Like a Prayer by Madonna. Ever since I watched
Shit.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
You stole mine. That's what I was going to say. The last one I watched. It still hits every time that sequence comes on.
Makes me cry and I get a massive erection at the same time.
All right.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Me would be No Easy Way Out by Robert Tepper.
Oh yeah. Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
Rest of
It's
the
more
panel.
melody,
what-
but what's that music comes on where Sam picks up Frodo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't
That
know what it's
melody
called,
thing.
but yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
Hello, runs off for it.
I forget the name of the track, but when they begin to assault the Death Star in Return of the Jedi, I get such a blast of when I was watching that as a kid for the first time. It was one of the most exciting things ever.
If I was to pick from Return of the Jedi, it's the bit where right at the end of the Luke versus Vader duel, where Vader kind of finally provokes him into like losing his shit.
Oh, it's great, dude.
The vocal,
the choir is amazing.
Yes, the choir,
man. And it's like when you think about the context of it, like a son fighting his own father, and like finally prevailing against him, and then realizing this fucking unstoppable monster is like just a frail human right at the end of it.
But it's that baked into me. Even you talking about it now is making me tingly. Like it just never goes away. Yeah. It just never goes away. Like every time.
Yeah, you should see a doctor.
And his father, please, always gets me. The way he says it, Father, please. It just sorry, I'm getting this skin.
For anybody who doesn't know, we all like Star Wars here.
A lot.
Yeah, there was a time when it would evoke real emotions in us.
It's why we're like this, is because we want to uphold what it once was.
Next one, also from Tom Waiting, says, have you ever read any Brandon Sanderson novels? I haven't personally, no. I'm told that they're really good, but I haven't done it myself.
I can't even read.
Yeah. He also says, years ago on Twitter, I said that Garth Ennis and Mark Millar write female characters better than Neil Gaiman. At the time, I was called crazy.
Well,
I mean, maybe you still are. Who knows? Blue Collar Loser, I know that name, says, I'm seeing this film Werewolves, Frank Grillo, guns, practical effects. Why is this getting no marketing? I may see it twice. The trailer looks great. I do like Frank Grillo as a kind of action hero. He's kind of a late bloomer, but he was awesome in Boss Level.
Well, then you're going to get your fill then pretty soon, huh? Because Creature Commandos and then Peacemaker Season 2, he's going to be starring.
Is anyone watching Creature Commandos?
I'm going to watch it just because I have to cover it.
I watched the first 20 seconds, and basically it's an Amazonian woman, and she leading a bunch of men, and they're basically incels, and he goes, this is woke. And I went, right, well, I've lost interest.
Just amused by 20 seconds. It's like, well,
is that quick? I went, oh,
that's all you get.
Did you watch Tulsa King?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
He is good in that.
Really
and yeah, Tulsa King is so... I'm not going to say it's underrated because people are talking about it, but not enough. Like, it's a really fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It's... they're doing good stuff there.
Stallone won. He won the race.
Always wins,
he still has it. He still has it.
He hasn't sold out. He hasn't gone...
Never told me to F my freedoms. Yeah.
No, never. No. He's the man.
Oh, and Landman. I do hear Landman is really good with Billy Bob.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically Yellowstone, but with oil drilling instead of like farming or whatever. Yeah. Chant of the Mole Daya says, special thanks to my unofficial ice creams.
All right.
Yeah. Sometimes when you read a super chat and you're like, this guy seems cool, but I have no fucking clue what he's talking about. Like,
Yeah.
We're kind of right in the midst of that right now. Pierce by Light says, Skeleton Crew was what I expected from Disney Plus. I hope it lasts. Well, good. I'm glad it was what you expected.
There's nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
It's just nothing. It's just it's like a fucking... It's like a granddad with dementia. You go, yeah, it is what it is.
It's a cheese sandwich, basically. Like, there's not too many ways you can fuck it up, but it's never gonna like change your life or anything.
I was way more nice than my one. My one was
the bread
horrible.
Wasn't moldy, and the cheese was somewhat fresh.
Somewhat.
Subway.
I mean, well, I suppose the other ones are like that, like Ahsoka or the Acolyte. Those are ones that are infested with botulism and mold, and they give you explosive diarrhea. This one's just like a bit stale, but overall it filled you up and you didn't die, so you're happy.
Who would have thought eating diarrhea gives you diarrhea?
Fuck, dude.
Words to live by.
You, the human centipede.
Timothy.
And not the South Park version.
Timothy Finch says Disney already did the badass retelling of Snow White 14 years ago with Once Upon a Time. Only then it had charm, good casting, a love story, and it was pretty good. It's ironic. It is ironic indeed. It's a different world that we live in now, sadly. B-Chain says, dislikes on that Snow White trailer are starting to look like Eastern Front Soviet combat losses. Humongous as fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Aurora Uplinks. It's my birthday this week, and I'm another day older, another day closer to Disney finally releasing a good Star Wars film again. Maybe many more. I mean, yeah, let's just concentrate on the good stuff that it's your birthday. Let's not get too hung up on the idea that Disney will release another good Star Wars movie. Because
calm down.
Let's not go nuts here, gentlemen.
I wanted to ask you guys because I didn't know about this, and I got a show with Stupendous Wave, and he was saying that there's the Mando and Grogu movie, but then there's also was it Dave Filoni's movie or is it Favreau's movie? Yeah,
no, it's Filoni's movie.
I didn't know that there was another one. There's another something they're doing.
So is it Grogu? Mandalorian and Grogu is Jon Favreau's close up? Yeah, and then Filoni has a movie closing out everything else. Ahsoka, Thrawn.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I had no idea.
There's an Ahsoka season 2 as well.
Yeah, there is.
Well, there's a trilogy getting worked on as well. Like, who was that fucking dude that they hired to do this again?
It's
I don't know.
He did a lot of the X-Men movies, didn't he?
Yeah, it's the guy from Dark Phoenix.
Oh, Mangled?
No. Sorry.
Chat can help us here. Who's the guy that they've hired to do another Star Wars trilogy?
It's one of those things we question why, but then it goes back and like his movies did make money for them, even if some of them flopped. And it seemed it's a safe choice or something. He's
a real hit and miss sort of guy because he's done Kinberg. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but
it's not Ryan Johnson.
He did Days of Future Past as well, so he has done some good X-Men movies.
Yeah, hit or miss.
But again, it's just another like Phantom project to add to the list of like 500 other things that they're apparently working on. None of it's
Sean Levy's movie, because that's supposed to have Rey in it too, and there's confusion.
Ryan Johnson's trilogy. The fucking guys from Game of Thrones, they've got a trilogy coming out apparently.
No, this shit's done, man. They're gone.
Patty Jenkins and Rogue Squadron.
She's back, isn't she? Didn't she come back?
Taika Waititi's getting a movie.
What's that one that happened 1,000 years in the past? Dawn of the Jedi or something?
Remember the Taika saying to Natalie Portman, "Would you want to be in a Star Wars film?"
Oh yeah.
No, it was worse than that. He was like, I'm really excited to work with Natalie Portman. I think she'd be great in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, imagine that.
That'd be crazy, Natalie Portman in Star Wars.
Yeah, I think she's got potential there. Fuck's sake. Anyway, it's Natalie Portperson. Aurora Uplinks has joined the Fellowship of the Drink, so welcome aboard. Great to have you, man. Stephen DeLeon says, MauLer, can you give us another spot on Boston accent, please? Shout out to West Texas. Landman is a damn good show. Give us a Boston accent.
I don't know what Boston sounds like. God damn it!
Pretty good.
All those lines good enough.
I thought they said Chris Stuckman there. Chris Curran says, "Great video on the Kirk unification video. Thank you. That was a really special moment." Theory, I the best I could liken that to was like, that moment where Luke appeared at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
and a lot of people got quite emotional about it. That was my version for Star Trek.
Yeah, but no one made fun of Critical Drinker when he teared up.
Not yet, anyway. Thing is, I wasn't on camera, so they couldn't see it.
Yeah, he had to just do this under his glasses.
Yeah. No, it was it was just a little short film. It was CGI'd, with kind of deep fake, but they used like actors and then just digitally composited the
Theory. Do you know who the actor was?
No.
Sam Witwer.
Mm-hmm. Really?
He played Kirk, and they did digital prosthetics.
Oh, cool.
Take a
no
look
idea.
sometime if you get the opportunity, because, like I say, it's less than 10 minutes long, so it won't take much of your time. But it's
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
it doesn't fall into the uncanny valley for the most part either. It's genuinely impressive what they were able to accomplish with that. Jamaican Bacon says, "Hail! It's cold, so check out Society of the Snow." Anyone seen that?
Why would I do
Society of
that
the
if it's
Snow?
cold? I want to check out Society
is
of the
cold.
Hot.
Maybe it's ironic, MauLer. Maybe it's set in like Jamaica or something.
Oh, okay. All right.
You don't know.
What is their meetings? Just make it colder, and they're all shivering.
I don't know how good this movie sounds, but all right.
I cannot do it, Captain. It's already Sub-Zero.
They just keep getting colder.
Yeah. Taker Sick 10 says, "Do it. Make a good movie." I mean, we'd all like to. That'd be nice.
Mm.
Rossi gave us a super sticker, so thank you. Totorangi says, "A question for the whole panel. What's everyone's favorite soundtrack for a movie, show, or game?"
Soundtrack?
Well, we can knock out
mean,
Star Wars and Lord of the
Ocarina of
Rings have
Time.
amazing soundtracks.
Aliens has a great soundtrack. I love James Horner's work.
Knights of the Republic, because I think Jeremy Soule did a great job of like mimicking John Williams, but had like some original stuff in there that's still used. And then The Witcher 3, quite fond of the music there.
Oh yeah, it's nice. Ocarina of
Bloodborne.
Time, I think.
Bloodborne and Metroid Prime are two of my favorite game soundtracks.
God of War.
I like Team America, where the he goes, everyone needs a montage.
Montage!
Obviously Halo, that is just goated, but yeah. Yeah, it's super goated. That's the one thing I wanted to see video games in concert when they were doing it back in the day was for Halo.
Have you seen that video of the guy in like the shower room that just does the Halo soundtrack?
Yeah,
It's
funny.
so good, dude.
the football player or something,
I
right?
had a friend. Who used to play the Fifth Element soundtrack all the time, and that's got
That's a
such
good
a
one, too.
'90s feel. It
It's-
just takes
Oh,
you back to the
yeah.
'90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good shit in that. I'm going to say Final Fantasy VII in terms of games. The soundtrack for that was just fucking perfect, even with the limitations of the technology at the time. So that'd probably be my pick.
This is going to be super basic, but the soundtrack in Detroit Become Human, I actually really enjoyed it. That it really put you in the game.
Is that
a good
Kara's theme?
It's like this dystopian sort of futuristic sort of. It's cool.
You know, it's weird.
that when
I
they-
really
the-
remember the game. I've got fond memories of it. I
Really?
don't remember the soundtrack as much.
Where they had robot like people that servants
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get to play
So it's
multiple.
one of the
Yeah.
So it's like a multiple choice sort of game. So you get like loads of different endings, and like
Oh,
there
dude.
was some good stuff in there. Like it dealt with like there was some pretty poignant scenes as well, because like these things are like they're just robots, but like they've got consciousness or they're starting to develop it, and like when they're
Yeah.
coming to the end of their life, like they don't know what lies beyond, and like so they're scared like anyone else at the
Yeah.
Little
prospect
Blade
of
Runner.
dying.
No, I thought it was cool.
A little bit,
Well,
yeah.
Toys.
That's the studio that's going to do Eclipse. Or well,
Quantic Realm, David
Yeah.
Cage's. Yeah, well, unfortunately,
Yeah.
they've also been pretty. They have
Would you
ideology behind them.
peaceful or was
lately.
you violent? Did you kill everyone or just try to be nice?
I did 2 playthroughs. The first one I was nice. The second one I just
Oh, I was evil.
killed everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
with the
I
games
really
like
was
that,
evil.
Everyone I
Yeah,
could.
the guy called
Yeah.
Reaper is a bad guy. It's like-
I don't like to play games like that more than once because like it really kind of exposes how limited the choices actually are.
Mhm.
You know, it's the same with like Until Dawn or The Quarry. Like
Yeah.
they're great fun to play, but they're really like a one-shot deal. Because like if you play it again, it's like, okay, I don't have as much
None of
influence
this
as I
meant
thought.
anything.
Just
Yeah.
when you die.
Yeah.
Because you either die, because that's basically, it's just when you die. It's now or like 50 times.
The Quarry was fun. That was a fun one. But yeah, you're right. That doesn't behoove yourself to do multiple playthroughs. You start seeing the cracks.
Is there
Yeah.
are there any new ones of the like Man of Medan and all those like are there any new ones coming out?
Well, they remastered Until Dawn. Oh, ho, ho.
Oh,
Which
And
kind
all the
of
Until
defeats the
Dawn
purpose.
fans were not happy with it.
dude.
Well, they
Jeez.
like outright removed a lot of choices from the original that were bizarre, like artistic
Oh,
ones.
fuck's
that was
sake.
presented.
Really?
It was weird. I saw a comparison of it and I was like, how do you fuck up just remaster? Like whatever.
Yeah, literally just like port a new game engine in. Like keep all the dialogue, all the choices, all the gameplay exactly the same. Just make it look slightly shinier. That's all people want.
they have an older one that's still good called
know-
Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy. That's from them. That's I think is a really good one. But
Oh shit, never played that.
Something I
Yeah,
find
it's on Steam.
incredibly remarkable about a lot of remasters. This happened to Buffy, and from what I read, it happened to Until Dawn. There was like no respect given to the color grading from the original, as in they didn't even grade
Right.
it at all. I find that so weird. I was like, surely you have all the data. You know exactly how they graded it. Why can't you just copy it over and then just check to make sure nothing glitched or whatever? I don't understand. Like, you'd think people who, the average person who watches a TV or whatever, they may not even know what color grading is. And it's just like, how is it that you're treating a remaster like the average person might if they were told to do it randomly? It doesn't make sense to me how much
Is
disrespect
it like,
given.
yeah, like doing it in the laziest way possible, where it's just
I
like
think
kind of
so,
fed
yeah.
into an AI almost, and like they just
Well, like,
don't even
so
bother
in,
checking the results.
An example for the Buffy one is they were redoing the special effects, and then they clearly gave up. Like, they only did it for season 1, and then they just stopped and started upscaling all of the effects going forward. It's just like, oh, so you guys, like, you were gonna, and then you just found a cheat. It's the kind of shit I get so sad with it, you know, because these things deserve way more respect than that. Like, I assume you guys know that James Cameron's come under a bit of fire for how the 4Ks have turned out for Aliens.
Yeah.
And then he yelled
True
at
Lies.
everyone that pointed it out and called them nerds in their basement.
I'll tell you
Some
what, man. Like,
examples that-
I've lost respect for James Cameron in a couple of ways. That one was a big hit. The idea that James fucking Cameron is telling me I shouldn't care about how his films, his best films of all time, transition over to 4K, and I should be okay with AI upscaling them. I was like, Jesus, what happened to you,
Did
man?
he actually say nerd? Did he just
Yeah,
go
he was-
nerd? Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Really? It was the testosterone comment that like kind of I was just like,
Oh
ooh,
yeah, yeah. It's like that explained Avatar.
fucking made
Perfectly.
Terminator 2, man. What? How are you? And like what?
No,
True
that's what I'm
Lies
saying.
as well.
He cares so much about every detail of a film, and then releasing it on 4K, and he doesn't care as much. It's like, what the hell happened to you, man?
That Batman quote that Theory said earlier about you either die a
Yeah.
hero or live long, because
Oh,
it's
we
happened
got-
to every single video
Yeah.
game studio, every movie studio. A lot of our creatives, they're just not the same.
See, here's I think what happens is that they start out as this like bright-eyed, you know, visionary or imaginary, and like they don't have a lot of money, let's say, or they're just new in the game, and they're like pure
Gotta prove
goal.
themselves.
Yeah, their pure goal is to just tell a cool story or make an amazing game. And then over time, they become really established. They make a lot of money, and then they just kind of don't really give a fuck anymore. They're like, all right,
They
yeah.
sit
I-
on the
I think
back room
they-
casting couch.
Well, yeah, like guys like Cameron, they do hit that sweet spot, which in his case was probably late 80s, early 90s, where it's like they have got the money, they've like built a reputation for themselves, so they've got access to all the resources, but they're still also like hungry, and they've still got like a great deal of creativity behind them. Beyond that, though, they peaked and then they start to decline, and that's what you got from him after Titanic. Like Cameron was on a downwards trajectory. And like, what have you got now? Just like 500 Avatar sequels that we've got to look forward to.
Yeah.
Fucking
they just
hell,
say
what a hill to
weird
die
shit.
on.
Yeah.
No, it's so sad, dude. Like the alternate, universe where he kept making original crazy idea projects, or even non-original ones. He was
Well, the
you know,
fact
and
that he lends his name as well to shit Terminator projects.
Yep.
You know, like, I'm an executive producer on Terminator Genesis and Terminator Dark Fate. Like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to put your name on
He's
that?
lost the plot. Yeah, he doesn't know what, like, the disconnect between the audience and them is insane.
Yeah.
All directors should have Tarantino's rule. They get 10 films and that's it. Then they got to retire.
Tarantino still he still hits the mark, man. He hasn't lost the plot at all. I feel like he's
He's only got one more apparently.
Yeah,
he's
no,
gonna
I
stop
love
it.
Isn't it not happening now? The last one, I don't know. What's going
Well,
on
he
with
was
it?
going to do
one-
the critic,
Yeah.
but then the critic he couldn't think of an idea, so he's trying to do something else.
I thought he was doing something in 70s America or something again.
I guess
Just
we'll
like
see.
the, just
But
like the Hollywood one.
I
he
mean,
did.
he's a name that I'll still watch every single thing he makes. I say that as if there's loads. There's not. Like, but you know what I mean. It's
Amish Warlord says, imagine if Rachel Zegler or Brie Larson were the next James Bond. Don't give them ideas, because they will do it.
An Amish warlord sounds terrifying.
Yeah. It'd be the most
super efficient.
civilized war you've ever seen, though.
Yeah, literally.
And they wouldn't be afraid of your high-tech weapons because they don't know what they are.
Well, have you seen Banshee? Sorry, where there's like an Amish mafia, basically. It's kind of fun.
Dragon
Banshees
Paul
and-
Z says, hey, MauLer, have you got a chance to watch Cosmonauts Cool and Totally Not Cringe Xander Harris video?
on one end, you got the Buffy fandom have this weird hatred for one of the main characters called Xander. Never quite understood it. I know all the arguments. I don't think they're very interesting at all. It's mainly just because he makes comments about women being hot, or because he is like a little bit too forward here and there in scenes. All the scenes of him like sacrificing himself to save people don't matter anymore. It's very cringe, like character analysis. It's like, oh, he's just annoying and useless and misogynist, which I find unappealing. Then on the other hand, you have Cosmo Variety Hour, who's just, as you guys know, if you've watched EFAB, I think he's just one of the most useless media analysis people ever. Completely inconsistent, flip-flops all over the place, depending on whatever the broad favored view of anything is. Never had an interesting thing to say. Hey, Theory, you'd like us? We did a breakdown of his prequel video where he shat all over him. It would be interesting to see you react to that, actually.
Who?
Cosmo Variety Hour. It's like I'm pretty sure it's pretty well viewed. He's got a video about how the old 3 prequels are awful.
Who is this?
Cosmonaut Variety Hour. You should do a
Oh,
stream.
this guy. Right. Yeah. Right.
I wasn't aware Xander was hated. I always liked Xander.
Yeah,
I thought
he's
Xander was like a crowd favorite when that was Ivan.
yeah.
It's a crowd favorite for fucking normal people, but the Buffy fans, like, it's frustrating.
For a while there, I thought I was thinking of the wrong person. I quickly looked up just to confirm I knew what we were talking about, and I was a bit confused by that.
Has some of the best episodes.
I'm not even kidding. Xander's excellent. It's just it's weird. I'm talking from a context where I'm more familiar with like Buffy forums, and a lot of them are filled with like Xander's actually kind of the worst character.
What's the Halloween one where their costumes come real and he turns into like a military commando? I thought Xander had some of the best, like, because everyone has superpowers basically except for him, and so he has to step up. Oh, Gary's in chat. Hi, Gary.
Gary's defending Xander too.
Hi, Gary.
All the correct people like Xander. So
Gary.
Normal Man says, happy early St. Nicholas Day to you, gentlemen. It's on December the 6th. Yes, Santa is real and he decks the what's that? He decks heretics in the halls. Look it up.
He dicks what? What's he dicking?
Dicks everything.
Damn.
He's Santa, motherfucker. He dicks what he wants. Apparently, yeah, he decks the heretics in the halls. Look it up. So, yeah, we should. That's what St. Nicholas does. Also, Dave's ARC says, "Hey Drinker, glad to see you've recovered from that headshot." Yeah, that was that was a little like bonus thing at the end of Rogue Elements. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to shoot. So, like that. Don't Be Hasty says, first they made Winnie the Pooh into a horror movie, and then they did it with the 7 Dwarves. Yeah, they are nightmare fuel. Happy Pasta says, thoughts on Arcane season 2 anytime soon.
I still haven't seen it.
It's awful.
I feel like the problem is, like, to make a review of it, to explain the problems, it's going to take about 6 hours, and I'm not that guy.
The Drinker does not recommend.
I don't recommend Arcane season 2. No, have your treasured memories of season 1 and just pretend that it was awesome. After
I've seen season 1.
For the record, I adore season 1. Season 2 was a disaster. Sucks.
One of my co-hosts loves the new one and doesn't understand why everyone doesn't like it, and so by all means shit on him so I can play this for him.
If I had to put it in a nutshell, it's like everything that should take an entire season gets resolved in like 1 episode. It is insane how rushed the show is towards the end. Like an entire war erupts and I had no fucking clue why it was happening or what was going on or what anyone was fighting for, because none of it's explained, none of it's built up, and none of it's resolved properly. And it pretty much all comes down to, I didn't realize that all this bad stuff was going to happen in the future if I did this, even though I've got the potential to read people's minds. And maybe I should just do that, and that'll tell me exactly where I've gone wrong. And then they just go, boop, undo it all. So
if you're after like 20 hours of breaking it down, that's the last 3 episodes of EFAB that we did. And the next one we're doing the last 2 episodes, which... Jesus Christ, there's so much to talk about in terms of how much they fucked up. But hey, looks like it was not as popular, and I want to say creative director, I'm not sure exactly what his role name is, but he's become one of the least popular people among the creators of Arcane with the fandom now. Said way too many things about his own work that revealed a lot about how much he doesn't understand about his own work, which is the worst shit ever, man, when you have the author of the thing being like, wait, you guys thought this? We're like, oh no.
Intent Matters says drinker with 2 monitors looks like he's watching a tennis match. I know, like, woo, woo, woo. What can I say? Like, I've got stuff to keep an eye on, you know. Star Joker says when you reach episode 125, you should start in 1925. Also, you guys should check out The Wild Robot if you haven't already. It's my 2024 top movie of the year. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I'm ready to watch it. But we should turn back the clock, I suppose, and then go make our way through the 20th century. I think we could do that.
If you wanna.
James Cresswell says, Drinker will be glad to know that I flew the Ailstorm flag on my honeymoon doing Mexico at a karaoke night at a Rio restaurant in Yoho, Mexico. Cheers, boys. That is pretty fucking good. Love it. I'm going to be going to see Ailstorm. They're playing in Edinburgh in January, so I'll be there. So looking forward to that. The Seaman says, wasn't George Lucas for saying faster, more intense? Star Wars is missing that. He certainly didn't say that in the prequels. Nothing was
It's just
fast
not
there.
cool. Like Star Wars just isn't cool.
Is it because he's reported as always saying faster and more intense?
Yes, that's his thing. Behind the scenes, he says that a lot.
Faster, more intense. I get it, but
Cannon Falderall says, Skeleton Crew was a bare bones affair. Cheers to the open bar. Yeah, so we saw what you did there. Thank you. Piston says, Theory, have you seen the supercut Joe Danger 37 made?
Of Star Wars Outlaws, I think they're talking
No.
about. He cut together me, you, Rags, Metal, and Fringy, I think, in total. Yeah,
Just
all
like
of us were
raging
reacting.
and laughing.
Basically,
at the
yes.
show. Oh, that's dude, that would be hilarious. I gotta watch that. What's his name?
Joe Danger. If you type that in and Supercut Outlaws, you probably find it.
Just before we go on, I know Theory, you're pretty much out of time here. Unfortunately, you got to bounce and get ready for another
I'd
stream.
love
that
to
you've got
stay,
going on.
yeah, but I gotta stream in a couple hours. I gotta get ready for do some errands before that too.
No, that's cool, man. It's great that we could have you on tonight and you could share your thoughts on Skeleton Crew. And it'd be great to have you back towards the end of the season. You can give your overall thoughts once it's over.
Yeah, you let me know, man. I'm in.
Nice one.
No,
All right. I love you guys.
Thanks, man.
Have a good day. Bye,
See you
chat.
soon, man.
Bye.
Alrighty.
Now I'm on top. Ha ha!
Yeah. Wait. We need to move this around. Hold on.
I'm getting
Oh, you
nervous.
bastard. Oh, I see how it goes. I see how it is.
Yeah. Wait. I'll come down and join you. There we go. How's that
Oh,
sound?
I'm on.
oh, I get it now. You want me
No,
on
you
your
do.
own? I'm in a
I'm
corner
slumming it
now.
with the common people down here.
Big gangbang.
Yeah.
I just like whoever's in the bottom right get to be me, like with the background, with the two arms. It's
Yeah.
like- it looks so
Why
disproportionate.
have I suddenly become retarded?
Oh,
Someone pointed out, like, when we had Disparu on like a week or two ago, like it lined up perfectly with like your
Yeah.
wimpy arms, like with him. It's like, oh, nice. This is a two-parter from Snex here, who says, a friend gave me a Wookiee Life Day themed advent calendar, funny on its own, but there's a quote on the back that's hilarious and needed to share. The quote, countdown to Life Day in Wookiee culture. Life Day orbs represent a cherished memory. As you count down to Life Day, you'll discover a combination of orbs and die-cut ornaments that celebrate fan-favorite Star Wars characters, including Chewbacca, Rey, and Grogu. What the fuck? Yeah, fan favorites right there, for sure. T. Neal says, to paraphrase from 40k, if you truly do hail from the realm that men once called hell, when you return there, tell your kindred it was the drinker who threw you back. Drops Acolyte into the warp rift. Nice. We should do that. B-Man says the Skeleton Crew was a decent watch, but I'll never forget how Kathleen Kennedy and Disney ruined Luke, Han, Boba, and Kenobi. They did a
We'll never
lot.
forget.
Yeah. It's been amazing, really.
I mean, you could say they accomplished quite a bit in their time.
B-Man said that?
No, I said that.
No, before that B-Man, the super chat, because say that traitor, he was over here giving me guff about liking it, and there he is. He liked it himself.
There you go. Master of Puppets says, I wonder when Star Wars comes out, if we'll look back on the 2012 Star Wars and the hunt. Oh, right. Sorry. You just put SW. I wonder when Snow White comes out, we'll look back at the 2012 Snow White and the Huntsman and say, we judge you too harshly. I thought it wasn't bad, just needed a different lead than Kirsten Stewart's. Yeah. She's not exactly compelling viewing.
Is she still around? Does she still exist?
She
I
does
think so.
exist.
She hasn't been vaporized, so I think she's still around.
She's doing everything in her power to make herself as unappealing as possible, and she's succeeding, which is impressive. John the Man Good. Oh, where is it? We skipped one there. Gentlemen, now that Drinker has created his work, why do we, the fan base, wait for gaming studios in Hollywood to create things? Why not do it ourselves? I mean,
Well, because it's not easy.
Yeah, and it's quite
We
expensive.
don't know how.
Yeah.
Money, time, lack
The
of
Iron
skill.
Age is
Pick
great,
one.
but we can't all be Rippas or Drinkers or Epic Mics.
Well, the thing is, even I
Epicurs.
didn't make a movie by myself. Like other people did it. I just kind of watched them. So, like, yeah, you need people
corner.
that can do this stuff for you, and you need people that got the
He's just
expertise.
there going,
And
do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I just kept saying faster and more intense.
Just masturbating.
Yeah, the crew just want to know why he never wore pants.
By the way, not for nothing, I did enjoy it, and it just goes to show you what you can do if you just have somewhat competent people and a good source and just try
Somewhat
and not
competent.
piss everyone else.
Yeah, let's not go into
That was
details
a
here.
You have
slight-
competent people, but I'm saying is all you need is just the basis of please just do it yourself when you don't have a bunch of ideology and like hating the customer and the source material and all that.
But yeah, I think the gist is like for all of us here on this panel, like we can't just go out and make video games or make movies. Like there needs to be a certain amount of resources and expertise behind it. There is still a bit of gatekeeping that's going on there.
Problem, I'd probably just make a porno instead.
I support that idea. To be fair.
I've got this big script and then it's just all sex scenes.
Costumes are
Go on,
normally better
do it,
anyway.
Do it. Like
Try to
50
sell it
pages
as this
of that.
big art house picture, like, well, it really delves deep into the human condition, and it's just people fucking for like 90 minutes.
I've got a
With a
big
dwarf
turtleneck
standing in
and
the
I'm going,
corner.
it's duality of man and just bullshitting the entire thing.
Yeah. 99 IQ says anime recommendation for Netflix and Thrill. Orb on the movements of the earth. Would you burn to prove heresy? Heliocentrism. Like, wow, I feel like I just said a random collection of words and sentences there, but that was the super chat. So yeah. Orb apparently
your
is what we should watch.
Your super chats seem too intelligent for me. I don't think I could even read them. I'm having enough trouble for just following what you're saying.
Even I'm struggling at times. Yeah. T. Neil says Star Wars Skeleton Crew review. At least it's not The Room or Plan 9, and it was there. 2 out of 5 stars. I mean, that's kind of where we're at with it.
4 out of 10 is exceptional for Disney Star Wars. So
Yeah, what can we say? Like the bar has been set pretty low.
I liked it better than Gladiator 2.
Yeah, that's fair. Fonzo says Creature Commandos has the wokest plot ever. I'm so disappointed. Shaky start to the DCU.
20 seconds. That's how fast they got into it. She leads an army of incels, the main villain. An Amazonian.
So is it all out there for people to watch now?
The first 2 episodes, I stole them. Like I'm not paying HBO.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm fucking but yeah, 20 seconds in, it's just the first 2 episodes, and it's just incel. It's basically the Peacemaker, where he just goes after Nazis. It seems to be more aimed at that, where that fake edgy The Boys type of shit.
Yeah. Here's a question from Intent Matters. Reaper, have you changed your opinion on the Penguin by the end of the show, or do you still think some of the unrealistic mafia elements trump over great characters and themes?
I start watching. What was the episode when she shoots him in the head? What's that guy that Vinny? What's his name?
Oh
VP.
Christ, that's like is that episode 6?
Or was it
Something
5?
like that,
Yeah.
Why did you let him live?
Why does what?
You know when she like kills all the family and then throws cold water on him, and she goes, "Right, I need you alive because I need the legitimacy. You need to get all the men." Why did he just leave and kill her?
Because she was going to threaten to expose the illicit affair he was having with the former mob ops wife,
After she killed the family.
So she used him to, but it still would have looked bad and other things he had done. So she was just using him to set up.
Oh, he's dead though.
And isn't it that sort of mafia mentality that they're in charge now, so everyone lines up behind them? Sort of thing.
She tried to convince him to essentially support her now because she's the inheritor of the family.
But she killed everyone and then had you naked in like some crypts. I go, fuck this.
Nah, it's nothing personal. It's just mob stuff.
I mean, from his perspective, isn't it like, well, she could do this to me already, and like she must now command the loyalty of the family. So if I make a move against her now, I'm fucking dead.
But didn't she go like, "I need your men"? And like, so when he leaves,
he makes that offer to her. He's more like, "You need me. I can offer you my loyalty, and I can do whatever for you."
I thought that's like you say something, when you're about to die. Oh, I'll suck your dick. You don't really mean it. But
no, I mean, for sure, but it's more like...
How many times have you been in that situation?
Right to that, huh?
Store jaw.
Yeah. Cut the balls and
he could have just
let it happen.
He could have just killed her.
But I think it's that mafia loyalty, who's in charge, who's lining up, like just...
But she's not loyal.
I suppose any boss could get killed at any time.
No, but he got them all on board with that, and then once she had control, that's when she...
No. She killed she killed the entire family, then kept him in a crypt, and it's like, there's no way she's going to let you live.
Okay, so play that out then. So imagine he just killed her. Like, what? Is he going to like take over the family now?
Yeah, he's in charge of the family.
There's no fucking way they would accept him.
And then someone kills him.
Actually, no. She goes, "I need you to get the men on my side." So he's already in charge. That was the point. That's why she keeps him alive. She gets him.
The conversation I remember in the crypt is like him begging for his life and basically saying like, "I'm loyal to you 100%."
Yeah, to stay alive.
And then her saying like, whether she says that to him, like, "Oh, I need you to get the men on my side."
I don't
know. Like, would she have found another way to get them on board anyway if he was dead? Probably they would have fallen in line.
She needed to kill him in front of everyone to go, "Oh, I'm taking power." When he could have because when he comes, he goes, "Shut up, fellas, the lady's talking," which means like he's in charge. He could have just went, "Kill her, kill the bitch, shoot her."
I don't know if they would have done it though. Like he might have said that, and
why? He's in charge.
If she's the head of the family, like I don't know if they would just suddenly make a move against her because like her right hand man said kill her.
They listen to him though.
Well, I don't know what the loyalty structure is there.
I don't think it was like he ordered them or anything. He was like a contact networker type thing.
Because wasn't the room full of all different gangs? Weren't they all different gangs, not just...
No, at that point, I think they were all part of the family.
It was their muscle men, their lieutenants, their enforcers.
Yeah, like he knows how to get them all.
And she essentially bought them all off with a bunch of money that she needed to find, that she found with his help.
Yes, but like he could just kill her. That's the first thing, you know what I mean? Someone's got you naked in a crypt. Was he naked? Or did I just imagine it?
I think you were fantasizing about it, but like it might have been
his porno.
I think
he got naked, everyone got naked, and then
she's still the daughter. She had a higher claim to it, I think is the
I'll have to watch it. Everyone did say the finale's good, so I'll give it another go.
It's good.
Yeah, I would honestly recommend you watch it to the end. It might change your opinion a little bit.
Didn't Clancy Brown get stabbed and he went, "How'd you get out of prison?" He went, "I got the keys." And I went, "How the fuck did you walk past all the guards? There's a literal blood trail."
Well, yeah, I mean, they'd have to chase him out. It was there like a riot? I can't remember.
Well,
I feel like there's an
at that point, hadn't they arranged it so that like he was in an isolated part of the prison, or like there was just him and the guard basically, because they wanted no witnesses so that he could be murdered. Yeah. And it's like, well, if you kill your would-be assassin, you've potentially got a way out because no one's watching you now.
I got the sense he could have left whenever he wanted, but instead he had it as but it's safer in there to just have his own little thing, like in The Gentleman when the dad was behind bars. But it was
keys from the guard. So like, there's no other guard. How many doors? Is it just one door into the exit? It's just like
maybe,
the fire escape. He just pushes it and goes bye.
I don't know.
Plus, he's stabbed. I was like, how the fuck did he get stabbed? Walk all the way out the prison, which, I don't know, is like one guard for the entire prison. Get a car, get all the way home, and he's like, oh, my stomach, I'm fine now. I was like, how the fuck would you survive that?
Well, it's
Well, I
Clancy
mean,
Brown, man. The rules of human
Oh, well,
anatomy don't
yeah,
apply
that's
to
true,
him.
actually. That's true, yeah.
But I
He's
assume he would have
awesome.
released a whole bunch of people as well, right? And then you get the riot, and then he gets out that way or something. I'd actually rewatch it. I can't remember.
Because I just remember him getting stabbed, and then it cuts because it's did he die? Then it cuts to him in the safe house. And
Yeah.
he goes, yeah, and he's got the keys in his hands. He goes, yeah, you tried to kill me, and I was just like, did you just? Is it just the key for all the doors in the prison? He's got one key the entire prison.
But I assumed he was playing it down, like, you know, the tough criminal guy. He was just sort of like, you know,
It was
I got
more just the
key.
escape
Like,
attempt.
what's that?
Because Clancy Brown surviving, I'm fine with that. He's cool, but it's the one he just got a pair of keys and just got out the prison. No guards saw him, and got off the island.
I'm assuming they let him go. He had a significant amount of them bought off. She just bought off one of them to stab, but the rest of them were his. And like I said, I think he could have left at any moment. He just had nothing to escape for. And when he did have reason to escape, to go get revenge, he left. He used his
What
contacts.
about the war with his family? Isn't that good enough reason to escape?
Again, at the time, that hadn't happened yet. And when he did find
Well,
out
like
that his
when
family had been
gives him a
targeted,
ring and he takes credit.
there's an EFAP for this that I'm sure you guys went over.
So, it's been a while. I could be wrong. I'll
No,
admit
yeah,
it.
the thing
I'm quite
I
often
need to
wrong.
rewatch the show. To check stuff like that. I can't remember. I can't even remember the scene where he gets stabbed anymore.
What's the
Like where they were.
what was episode 1 where Penguin's meeting him in prison? No, it's how does the Falcones not hear about this?
He lied and said that he was going, like he tried to play both sides.
Just watch
Isn't
no,
that
I'm
the
just
sort of
like,
whole?
no
Isn't
prison
that the whole
guard.
penguin stick that he's sort of slimy and living between all the gangs and?
I'm just saying he's visual. No, but like there's no other criminal or guard that works for the Falcones. Does every single person work for the Maronis or play both sides? You'd hear about it, wouldn't you? In Blackgate Prison, Falcones would have people in there. And they never hear about
that.
big
Well, I mean,
fat
it is
guy with a
possible that
limp.
Penguin knew who the informants were and paid them off. So, like, yeah, don't tell anyone about this meeting. Like, here's $1,000 or whatever. He's going to pay them.
That's a lot of people. You have to pay everyone in the prison. He goes, and you, and you, and you. He goes, I've got no money.
I mean, Penguin being like such a well-connected guy as he is, and knowing the Falcones structure and like who's working for them, who isn't, like I could buy that he would know who to pay off.
Yeah, but you've got to go all the way into the prison, sign in, go through like multiple guards, not be seen by any other prisoner, and then just get to that specific room where the Maronis are. And you go,
This
I don't know.
This prison's destroyed the show for you. This layer.
No, it's just it's little bits like that. I go, well, the mob thing in Sopranos, they had to like Paulie has to call what's his face, Johnny Sack, because you can't meet him in person. There's no way you get caught. Like they don't. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying like, well, it is a bad thing. But what I'm saying is, it's just the mob element's a little bit too weak for me. That's the
It's
reason.
also comics. They let Batman walk through the fucking halls of Arkham State and talk to Riddler and Joker and things. So I think that would be
this show said his name was Cobb is his last name because it's too unrealistic to be called Cobblepot. And I went, you can't say that, then do all this. Cobblepot is just unfathomable to these people.
I see the chat. Fuck whoever sent this super chat to start this, and I sort of agree with that.
Man,
I will watch it though. I will give it another go.
Like, there's just not much for a lot of this is very minutiae stuff, so we'd have to get everybody caught up with the whole story again. But I appreciate, just tearing the story apart. Everyone should be able to take that analysis.
I don't believe that. You're probably going, piece of shit, fucking.
It's me
breaking pencils next year.
I do this with fucking Teletubbies.
All about the breakdown.
You got like a Death Note book. You write me naming.
Fucking stop questioning things, goddammit.
I won't finish it though.
Kumia has gifted 1 Critical Drinker membership, so thank you, sir. Let me see. That one guy says, what a panel. Hail to all. Theory sabers are outstanding. Ever thought of doing a saber and video game mashup? Well, I'm not sure if he has, but yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the sabers. Gordon Cadell says, loving the potential casting of Snape. Will season 6 be called Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince of Bel-Air? Great show, guys. Yeah, we'll wait and see for that one, but I cannot see this casting going ahead. It's so off the wall and ridiculous. It just seems impossible.
I would be surprised if they really did go through with this.
Zed says, Stargrift reunion, so much nostalgia. Have a nice evening, gentlemen. Yeah, we just needed Ryan here for this. And yeah, Edgar Friendly says, "Gah, no kissing Snow White. That's Sleeping Beauty." Well, there you go.
She does get kissed, doesn't she?
Isn't there both?
Yeah, it's True
Like
Love's
magical
kiss that's
kisses?
meant to wake her up because she's been poisoned by the apple.
You know what would be better movie? If you had Prince Charming and he visits all these princesses and he has to keep like juggling them like different families. He's got Sleeping Beauty on one thing, he's got Snow White on another thing.
Or
He's
just
just
like every
running
time they take a nap, he just comes in and snogs them like, no, I've got to save you.
Oh no, someone's asleep again. No one's
Yeah,
gonna
it's like
remember
I'm just
this.
having a fucking 5-minute nap, you son of a bitch.
He keeps roofing them. They're not actually Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, someone took the poisoned apple again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, better come in and help you.
The Bill Cosby story.
Yeah. I will probably finish that up there this evening, though, gentlemen. I want to say thank you for coming in tonight. I know Theory couldn't quite make it to the end, but we thank him as well. And Reaper, even though you're an awkward son of a bitch arguing about everything with Penguin, I appreciate you coming in too, man.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm surprised to keep getting let back in. It's like the
I
door
know.
just left open.
I'm
I'm
starting
like
to
a cat.
rethink that now. I'm just kidding.
What's that Mo where he's thrown out everyone and Barney's back in? He goes, "Didn't I throw you out, Barney?" He goes, "I don't know. I'm a drunk.
He
I
just
don't know how."
appears in the background.
Yeah. But yeah, appreciate the super chats as well. And the ones that we haven't done tonight, we will, as we always do, catch up with them in a couple of days. But thank you, chat, for joining us this evening. It's been lovely to reconnect with you and all that. But for now, that's all we got for today. So go away now.
Bye.